Chapter 2930. The time difference between my spatial artifact and the outside world is 10 to 1.
Ah,
Dongfang Tuing wasn't an idiot. He instantly understood the meaning behind Longao's words. There was such a heaven-defying spatial artifact? Brother Long, you must not reveal that you have such a heaven-defying spatial artifact. Otherwise, there will be endless trouble. I understand. Longao was extremely shocked by this. If he hadn't confirmed it multiple times, even he wouldn't have dared to believe that this was true. A 10 to 1 ratio. What did this mean? In other words, training in the Primal Chaos Palace for 10 years was equivalent to training in the outside world for a year. Longao and Dongfang Tuing entered the Primal Chaos Palace and began to refine pills. Dongfang Tuing could only stay for a day, but Longao could stay for an indefinite period of time. 10 full years was only equivalent to a year outside. Longao had not only completely stabilized as a 4th-rank formation master, he had also become a 4th-rank pill inscriptionist. Not only was there no hindrance at all, but his improvement was even faster than before. Not only that, Longao's cultivation had also broken through from the early stage of the god level to the peak of the god level. He was only one step away from officially becoming a high god. To break through to the high god level, one had to comprehend their own Jindan domain from the Jindan in their body. It could be said like this. Without breaking through to the high god level, there was no way to have a Jindan domain. But the result? Longao had only just broken through to the peak of the god level, but he had already comprehended his own Jindan domain from the Jindan in his body, and had even fused it with his divine sense. In other words, his divine sense domain. What was going on? As though he had thought of something, Longao immediately began to verify his thoughts. Divine sense nirvana. By relying on divine sense nirvana, Longao, after breaking through to the peak of the god level, not only had his own domain, he had even formed a unique divine sense domain. There was no need to ask how powerful a divine sense domain was. Longao knew 10,000 times better than anyone else. In his heart, he was extremely excited. The Primal Chaos 9 axes had a total of 9 killing moves. Longao had already cultivated the first 4 killing moves. They were the first axe, Devour Hell, the second axe, Devour the Heavens, the third axe, Absolute Annihilation, and the fourth axe, Annihilation of Divine Sense. He had thought that he would have to wait a while before he could train in the 5th axe. At the very least, he would have to break through to become a high god. But in the end, what Longao didn't expect was that he had already comprehended the 5th axe of the Primal Chaos 9 axes when he had just broken through to the peak of the mid-level deity stage. Under normal circumstances, even though he had obtained the Primal Chaos 9 axes, if he wanted to cultivate it, he had to constantly verify and cultivate it. However, regardless of whether he cultivated the Primal Chaos 9 axes or other martial skills, success seemed to follow naturally. What was going on? He couldn't figure it out. He really couldn't figure it out. It was a very strange thing. The 5th axe of the Chaos 9 axes was used to imprison the primordial spirit. Even if he did not use the Chaos axe, this move was extremely overpowered. This was because although Longao's cultivation level was only at the pinnacle of a middle god, his primordial spirit was comparable to a pinnacle of a higher god.
just think about it.
Longao was battling against a pinnacle higher god. He had caught his opponent off guard and suddenly used his primordial spirit domain, and even began to confine his primordial spirit. One could imagine what the result would be. Having obtained such a divine ability, how could Longao not be excited? And this was only the 5th axe of the Primal Chaos 9 axes. It was hard to imagine how overpowered the 6th axe, the 7th axe, the 8th axe, and even the 9th axe would be. Aside from that, Longao was still filled with anticipation for the 9 Revolutions Primal Chaos mantra. This was because, even now, he was still stuck at the 6th revolution, unable to break through to the 7th revolution. The first 6 revolutions of the 9 Revolutions Primal Chaos mantra were the first revolution, Samsara not entering the Yellow Springs. The second revolution, Samsara teleportation. The third revolution, Samsara clone. The fourth revolution, samsara, heavenly eye. The fifth revolution, samsara shattering the starry skies. The sixth revolution, samsara controlling the starry skies. The first 6 revolutions of the 9 revolutions primal chaos mantra were definitely heaven-defying existences in the vast starry skies. Just shattering the starry skies and controlling the starry skies were enough to allow one to roam the vast starry skies. But to the primal chaos realm, these were completely useless. The last 7 revolutions were the key. Longao knew very well that the last 7 revolutions of the 9 revolutions primal chaos mantra would definitely give him a foothold in the primal chaos realm. Only the current situation, forget about the 8th revolution and the 9th revolution, he couldn't even break through to the 7th revolution. He felt very helpless. After Longao had left the primal chaos palace, Dongfang Tuing and Han Yin had hurriedly sought him out. But before the two of them had even spoken, they had already looked at the youth in front of them in astonishment. A pinnacle god? In a single year, he had broken through from a beginner god to a pinnacle god. This sort of training speed was truly unbelievable. Han Yin didn't know, but Dongfang Tuing seemed to have guessed something. A 10-to-1 ratio. Longao had entered the spatial artifact to train. 1 year outside was 10 years inside. 10 years to break through from a beginner god to a pinnacle god. Even so, this sort of talent wasn't something that others could compare with. Longao just smiled. He didn't say much about his training. The secrets of the Primal Chaos Palace definitely couldn't be leaked. His intuition told him that the Primal Chaos Palace he possessed was definitely not simple. A spatial artifact that could nurture primal chaos flames for him. Just thinking about it, one could imagine what this meant. In addition, the current Primal Chaos Palace had a 10-to-1 time ratio. Not only that, Longao had a feeling that as his strength continued to increase, the time ratio in the Primal Chaos Palace would continue to increase. At that time, let alone 10-to-1, even 100-to-1 or 1,000-to-1 wouldn't be impossible. Thinking of this, Longao was extremely excited. Big brother Dongfang, big sister Han, is there something you need from me?
Right.
According to the news I just received, for some unknown reason, Nangong Baofeng has already left the Blackstone Heavenly region. He took all of the sovereigns with him. Right now, the only ones left in Blackstone City are Nangong Chun and the High Gods. Big brother Dongfang, you don't mean that you want me to go to Blackstone City and kill Nangong Chun, right? Even if he was already a 4th-tier formation master, as long as he had enough time to set up a 4th-tier formation, he could still kill Nangong Chun. However, the consequence of doing so would be to fight Nangong Feng to the death. If that was really the case, Longao could completely imagine that even if he had the protection of the Pill Hall, Nangong Feng wouldn't let him go. At that time, he could imagine the consequences. How could the two of them not know what Longao was thinking? Dongfang Tuing smiled helplessly and said, "Of course I didn't mean that. Unless your cultivation can reach the God Emperor realm, it's best not to take the initiative to provoke Nangong Feng." Chapter 2931. Brother Dongfang, what do you mean? Han Yin didn't seem to like wasting time. She immediately said, Brother Dongfang's meaning is very simple. Since Nangong Fengyun is not here and has taken away all the overgods, you can go to Blackrock City. Longao wasn't a fool. He immediately understood what they meant. No problem. Establishing dominance. Longao and the other two immediately left Dragon City and headed towards Blackrock City. Blackrock City was the core city of the Blackrock Heavenly region. Not only was the city lord Nangong Chin here, but also the domain lord's manor. No one dared to behave atrociously in Blackrock City. Look, isn't that Longao?
Yes.
Other than Longao, Palace Lord Dongfang is also with him. There's also a overgod from the Pill Hall. Where did he come from? No wonder he dares to enter Blackrock City with 2 overgods. The others didn't know that Nangong Fengyun had left Blackrock City. In their opinion, since Longao had offended the Domain Lord's manor and the City Lord's manor, he wouldn't dare to enter Blackrock City casually even if he was given 10,000 guts. But the result? Not only did he enter the city, He even swaggered in. It was a provocation. Not only was he provoking the city lord's manner, but he was also provoking the domain lord's manner. Longao is relying on the support of the Pill Hall. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dared to enter Blackrock City. He's just courting death. That's because he's capable. Others wouldn't be able to do that. That was indeed the case. The Pill Hall wouldn't casually show their support. Those who said that the grapes were sour because they couldn't eat them were completely envious and jealous. The city lord's manor received the news as soon as the three of them entered Blackrock City. Nangong Chun brought dozens of superior gods and stopped the three of them. He sneered and said, "Blackrock City has issued an order. Longao is not allowed to enter Blackrock City without permission. Those who disobey will be killed without mercy." Han Yin was instantly angered and said, "Nangong Chen, what do you mean by this?" Although he was afraid of the Pill Hall, Nangong Chen didn't give in to Han Yin and Dongfang Tuing. No matter what, he was still the city lord of Blackrock City. There were some things that he could not back down on. Otherwise, Blackrock City would lose face. Elder Han, there are some things that you and I are well aware of. There's no need to say it out loud. Without waiting for Han Yin to speak, Nangong Chen looked at Longao and said, "Consider yourself lucky to be able to find a backer like the Pill Hall. However, I want to tell you, don't be happy too early." He sneered in his heart. Longao didn't care at all. After stopping Han Yin, Longao smiled and said, "We came here this time to take a look around. Since the city lord does not welcome us, we will take our leave." Longao. "Sister Han, let's go." Seeing that Longao had already turned to leave, Han Yin stomped her feet and followed after him. He left Blackrock City. "Longao, are you scared?" "Sister Han, do you think I'm scared?" He was stunned for a moment. Han Yin knew Longao's character very well. If he was scared of the city lord mansion, he wouldn't have done that. Since that's the case, why did Longao do that? "Sister Han, we don't have to fight him head-on. According to the news I received, the city lord mansion seems to have something good. You want to go to the city lord mansions?" Hearing that Longao wanted to go to the city lord mansion, not only Han Yin, even Dongfang Tuing was shocked. They didn't know what Brother Long wanted to do. Even if Nangong Fengyun took away all the overgods in Blackrock City, Nangong Chen was still a overgod. He and Han Yin couldn't go there yet. If Blackrock City knew that the Pill Hall was provoking them, it wouldn't be good. "Since Nangong Fengyun isn't here, I'll go to the city lord mansion to get something good." The two wanted to say something, but Longao waved his hand and said with a smile, "Brother Dongfang, Sister Han, we have to put on a show together. We can't let others know that I went to Blackrock City or the city lord mansion. When Nangong Fengyun comes back in the future, he and Nangong Chen would know that it was me." What are we going to do? Very simple. Concoct pills. When the three of them returned to Dragon City, they didn't return to the city lord mansion. Instead, they went to the Pill Pavilion. "Everyone, to thank you for coming to Dragon City for your support, I've decided to concoct pills with Brother Dongfang at a low price. It's from level 1 to level 4. Those who want to concoct pills, please prepare your crystal stones." "City Lord Long, are you going to concoct pills on the spot?" "That's right. If there's any pill engraving masters who want to join the Pill Pavilion, I'll still welcome them. I'll even help them increase the level of their pill engraving." Even so, no one dared to casually join the Pill Pavilion. Joining Dragon City and joining the Pill Pavilion were two different things. If Blackrock City knew about this, it was easy to imagine what the result would be. Longao already guessed that this would be the result, so he didn't care. Let's start. When Longao and the two of them entered the Pill Pavilion, they immediately started concocting pills. Everyone was extremely happy because the fact that City Lord Long was a level 4 pill engraving master was no longer a secret. Even Palace Master Dongfang was a level 3 pill engraving master. A level 3 pill engraving master and a level 4 pill engraving master. Moreover, they were both concocting pills at a low price. This kind of thing didn't happen every day. In just half an hour, a long line of people had formed outside the Pill Pavilion. At a glance, there were at least a few thousand people. Brother Dongfang, you can start concocting pills here. As for these level 4 pills, as long as you take them out every once in a while, no one will suspect you. Be careful. I will. Dongfang Tu-yin was only a level 3 pill engraving master. It was impossible for him to concoct level 4 pills. Longao had already thought about this. As long as he took out a level 4 pill every 2 hours, no one would suspect him. After all, there were only 2 alchemists in the entire pill pavilion. One was a level 3 pill engraving master, and the other was a level 4 pill engraving master. Longao, I know that you have some secrets. However, I want to tell you that the City Lord Mansion of Blackrock City is definitely not simple. Before Han Yin could finish her words, Longao suddenly smiled and said, Sister Han, who told you that I'm going to Blackrock City? Didn't you say that you were going to Blackrock City? Longao shook his head and said with a smile, Nangong Chun is in charge of Blackrock City. I won't go there casually. With my current strength, I haven't reached the stage where I can fall out with Nangong Chun. This time, I'm going to the Domain Master's Mansion to have a look. Dongfang Tu-yin and Han Yin immediately understood Longao's intention. After all, there was no overgod in the Domain Master's Mansion. Even Nangong Fengyun wasn't there. There was only a high god in charge. This was indeed a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Chapter 2932. Longao, tell me, what do you want from the Domain Chief's Mansion? Not only Han Yin, but even Dongfang Tu-yin was curious as to why Longao wanted to go to the Domain Chief's Mansion. Longao would not have said much if it were someone else. But to the two of them, Longao did not hide anything and said with a smile, I've heard that the Domain Chief's Mansion seems to have a 10,000 years fire lotus. Before Longao could continue, the two of them already knew what he meant. They were extremely shocked. Brother Long, you want to devour the 10,000 years fire lotus to upgrade it. That's right. Every kind of exotic flame was extremely overbearing, but it was very difficult to upgrade it. It was impossible to upgrade it through normal means. The 10,000 years fire lotus was the best way to upgrade it. Everyone knew that the Domain Chief's Mansion had a 10,000 years fire lotus. Nangong Fengyun set up the City Lord's Mansion there because there was a 10,000 years fire lotus there. It was crazy. The two of them stared at the young man in front of them. They had never thought that Longao would be so crazy. They were not fools. Of course, they knew what it meant to covet the 10,000 years fire lotus. They sighed deeply. Brother Long, the 10,000 years fire lotus needs countless years to mature. I'm sure that the 10,000 years fire lotus in the Domain Chief's Mansion has not matured yet. Otherwise, Nangong Fengyun would have used it. He also needs the 10,000 years fire lotus. That's right. According to the rumors, Nangong Fengyun is waiting for the 10,000 years fire lotus to mature so that he can ask a weapon refiner to make a weapon for him. It was obvious what a treasure made from the 10,000 years fire lotus was. I'll leave first. Longao knew what the two of them meant. However, he had to devour the 10,000 years fire lotus. His burning heart lotus had to be upgraded. Otherwise, it would be almost impossible for him to become a level 5 alchemist. Brother Dongfang, what do you mean? Brother Long has completely fallen out with the Domain Chief's Mansion. Even if you don't go, Nangong Fengyun will never let you go. Dongfang Tu-ying's meaning was clear. How could Han Yin not know? If Nangong Fenghao knows about this, I'm afraid that even if our pill hall takes action, Nangong Fenghao won't continue to hold back. The two of them naturally knew what the 10,000 years fire lotus meant to Nangong Fengyun. Back then, there was a beginner godly emperor who wanted to snatch the 10,000-year flame lotus, and Nangong Fengyun fought him. That battle was earth-shattering. In the end, Nangong Fengyun killed the junior divine emperor. Not only did he protect the 10,000 years fire lotus, but he also became famous in the primal chaos world. One could imagine. This time, Brother Long went to the Domain Master's Mansion secretly.
No one knows about it.
Even if Nangong Feng is suspicious, he won't fall out with the pill hall until he has concrete evidence. I hope so. The two of them did not concoct any pills. After all, they had already prepared a lot of pills, including the level 4 pills that Longao had already concocted. Blackrock City. City Lord's Mansion. Inside the main hall. Nangong Chen's face was gloomy. It was as ugly as it could get. Longao brought the two of them into the Blackrock City openly. It was a provocation to the Blackrock City. Not only that, he just received news that Longao and Dongfeng Tuing had started to concoct pills and sell them at the lowest price. What was the meaning of this? Nangong Chen knew clearly that Longao did this to increase the reputation of the Elixir Pavilion. Originally, he wanted to suppress Dragon City. However, he did not expect Dragon City to develop to such an extent in just 1 year. In the end, it was all because of the Pill Hall's interference. The Pill Hall actually asked Dongfeng Tuing to help Longao and let Longao rebuild the Elixir Pavilion. If he did not see it with his own eyes, he would not believe it. What made Nangong Finghao angry the most was Longao was not only an Elixir Inscription Master, but he was also a level 4 Elixir Inscription Master. He knew clearly what a level 4 Elixir Inscription Master meant. No wonder Dragon City could develop in just 1 year. If it was not because of his grudge, he would have asked a level 4 Elixir Inscription Master to concoct pills for him. A level 4 Elixir Inscription Master concocted a level 4 Elixir Inscription Master. If he were to buy it from the Pill Hall, he would need a huge amount of crystal stones. Anger, endless anger. However, Nangong Chen forcefully suppressed the anger in his body. He knew clearly that as long as the Pill Hall continued to interfere in this matter, not to mention him, even his father would not be able to deal with Longao. A level 4 Elixir Inscription Master who had 2 mysterious flames. As long as the Pill Hall was not stupid, they would definitely protect him with all their might. What made Nangong Chen feel the most was that as early as a year ago, he had already spread the news that Longao possessed 2 heavenly flames. Unfortunately, with the guarantee of Hanin and Dongfeng Tuing, no one would believe it. Even he would not believe that a person had 2 mysterious flames. However, Longao did not hide the fact that he had 1 mysterious flame. Longao openly admitted it. Even so, no one dared to enter Dragon City to snatch it. The reason was simple. Longao had the support of the Pill Hall. Men. City Lord, please give your orders. Go to the Zonglong Sky region and find Du Lei and Hezhongtian. Ask them about Longao's background. This lower god was very curious. Previously, when the 2 overgods stayed in the City Lord's mansion, the City Lord seemed to have already asked about Longao's identity. At that time, the 2 overgods said that they did not know. Now that they were going to the Zonglong Sky region, they did not seem to have any objections. However, this lower god did not dare to say any more nonsense, and immediately left. Du Lei, Hezhongtian, if I find out that you have lied to me, I will kill you even if you are from the Zonglong Sky region. The Zonglong Sky region was a middle sky region. Its level was above the Blackstone Sky region. However, Nangong Chen was not worried at all. After all, his father was the domain lord of the Blackstone Sky region. He was even a peak divine king expert who had killed a divine emperor. Nangong Chen's intuition told him that the 2 of them must be hiding something. It was impossible for them not to know Longao's identity. Actually, Nangong Chen was wrong. Not to mention, even Du Lei and Hezhongtian wanted to know Longao's true identity. However, in the entire Chaos Realm, other than Yunxi and the others, there was probably no one who knew about Longao's identity. He was actually teleported from the starry sky. Moreover, it had only been a few years. If others wanted to go to the Zonglong Sky region from the Blackstone Sky region, not to mention other things, just the amount of crystal stones required was an unimaginable price. However, to the City Lord's mansion it was a piece of cake. To be on the safe side, Nangong Chen sent a total of 6 upper gods to the Zonglong Sky region. Moreover, they showed enough sincerity, hoping to obtain specific information about Longao. Chapter 2933. Longao, who had just secretly prepared to enter Blackrock City. Suddenly, he saw 6 high gods leave Blackrock City at high speed. He was very curious. But Longao didn't let go of this extremely rare opportunity. After all, he was already irreconcilable with Blackrock City. Killing 6 high gods would cause Blackrock City to feel some pain and heartache. If this was in the past, he definitely wouldn't be a match for a high god. But now, the situation was completely different. He had already broken through to the peak of the god level and was now a formation master of the 4th rank. The current him, if he wanted to kill a high god, it wouldn't be too hard. Longao didn't immediately attack. Nobody would know. After following them for 2 full hours, after confirming that there was no one nearby, Longao immediately sped up, setting up a simple formation of the 4th rank in front of the 6. "You are Longao?" The 6 had all seen Longao before. Only, what they couldn't understand was why Longao was blocking their path. Could it be that Longao didn't know that Blackrock City had already listed him as a person who must be killed? Anyone who saw him would be killed without question, especially at a time like this. Exactly. Haha. The heavens are helping us. Help my ass. Before the man had even finished speaking, Longao's Shenyuan sword had already chopped viciously towards the 6 of them. The opponent actually dared to attack first. The faces of the 6 instantly changed, and they were all incomparably furious. The 6 of them were high gods, while the opponent was only a god. To fight against the 6 of them was like a fool's dream. It was impossible. Not to mention that the 6 of them joined hands. Even if any one of them came out casually, he could easily destroy Longao. 1 against 6. Longao had just mastered the 5th axe of primordial chaos. He wanted to test out how powerful this killing blow of his was. Exactly. Just as the 6 of them thought that they would be able to easily annihilate Longao, suddenly, the situation changed. Longao's body suddenly released a ripple of energy. The 6 of them felt as though they had fallen into a swamp. Jindan domain? This is a Jindan domain. How can a god have a Jindan domain? Originally, the 6 of them did not intend to use their golden core domain. After all, the 6 of them joining forces to deal with a mid-god was a disgraceful thing in itself. If they were to layer their golden core domain on top of that, even they would despise themselves, let alone others. But what was the result? Even if the 6 of them were beaten to death, they still wouldn't have imagined that a god would be able to comprehend a Jindan domain. What kind of concept was that? The 6 of them knew better than anyone else what it meant for a mid-level deity to comprehend a golden core domain. Not daring to hesitate any longer, the 6 of them immediately released their own Jindan realm, which was stacked on top of each other. It wasn't that there weren't any gods who could create a Jindan domain. However, every single person who was able to create a Jindan domain at the god level was an absolute genius. The reason why high gods were able to absolutely suppress gods was because of their Jindan domain. Lad, you are indeed a godly prodigy. But to think that you can rely on the Jindan realm to kill us?
Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha. 6 high gods represented 6 Jindan domains stacked on top of each other. One of them had to have reached the peak of the high god level and had already mastered 10% of the Jindan domain. Low-level high gods had mastered 30% of the Jindan domain. Mid-level high gods had mastered 60% of the Jindan domain. High-level high gods had mastered 90% of the Jindan domain. As for peak high gods, they had mastered 10% of the Jindan domain. Longao's primordial spirit domain was hard to say, but he was completely confident. Even if he were to face a peak high god who had mastered 10% of the Jindan domain, his primordial spirit domain wouldn't fear him in the slightest. The 7 Jindan domains clashed against each other. In a situation where he was fighting 1 against 6, not only was Longao not immediately killed, he was actually able to fight them to a standstill. The more they fought, the more shocked they became. The more they fought, the more incredulous they felt. Was this the Jindan domain of a god? Was this the power that a god should have? This was complete nonsense. Prior to this, if someone were to tell them that a god not only had mastered a Jindan domain, but was also able to fight 1 against 6, they would definitely slap that person. But now, the truth was right in front of their eyes. They had no choice but to believe it. Longao was very clear that if he were to fight one high god alone, even if the other party was a peak high god, he wouldn't have the slightest bit of fear. After all, his primordial spirit domain was completely comparable to 10% of the Jindan domain. But now, the situation wasn't quite right. There were 6 of them. With 6 Jindan domains stacked on top of each other, even his primordial spirit domain couldn't forcefully suppress them. In the end, it was because his level was too low. If he could break through to become a high god, even if he was just a beginner high god, he could easily kill 6 high gods.
There was no doubt about that.
Seizing the opportunity, Longao also wanted to try out the primordial chaos 5th axe that he had just comprehended. He wanted to see how powerful the primordial spirit imprisonment was, and whether it could become his most powerful killing move. Primordial chaos 9th axe, 5th axe, primordial spirit imprisonment. And just as the 6 of them thought that the other party was dead for sure, Longao's primordial spirit suddenly enveloped all 6 of them. After pausing for a moment, the 6 of them already knew what was going on. Immediately, they burst out laughing maniacally. They had seen arrogant people before, but they had never seen someone as arrogant as this. To think that he would dare to use his primordial spirit to attack the 6 of them. Was there something wrong with the other party's brain? And just as the 6 of them were about to use their primordial spirits to retaliate, suddenly, the situation changed. My primordial spirit is being imprisoned. What's going on? Sensing that their primordial spirits were being imprisoned by the other party's primordial spirit, the 6 of them were scared silly. Of course, they knew what it meant to have one's primordial spirit imprisonment. Even a master god wouldn't be able to do something like this. And because of that, the 6 of them could not figure out just how the other party was doing it. He wanted to end this battle quickly. Initially, Longao was prepared to use his formation. But to think that the primordial chaos 5th axe that he had just comprehended would be this heaven-defying. His primordial spirit could trap the primordial spirits of all 6 of them at the same time. At this moment, the 6 high gods were just like 6 normal people in the eyes of Longao. He could kill them as he wished, without even needing a second move.
Crack, 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 crack.
To begin with, Longao's primordial spirit was already comparable to the primordial spirits of peak high gods. But now that the primordial spirits of all 6 of them were being imprisoned, there was no way they could defend against Longao's annihilation of consciousness. In just an instant, the bodies of all 6 of them fell down slowly. Looking at the 6 corpses before him, Longao chuckled out. His primordial spirit imprisonment had truly given him a pleasant surprise. And this was just the primordial spirit imprisonment alone. If he were to use this primordial spirit imprisonment with the help of the primordial chaos axe, even a master god might have their primordial spirits imprisoned by him if they were to let their guard down. Chapter 2934. Blackstone City, City Lord's Mansion. Nangong Chun was in the main hall, feeling depressed. Someone stumbled in from outside, seemingly scared out of his wits. What's going on? Lord City Lord, something bad has happened.
Speak.
Nangong Chun was furious. What had happened for a high god to act like this? Could it be that the sky of Blackstone City had collapsed? Our 6 protectors have all been killed. What? Nangong Chun jumped to his feet. His face was filled with shock and anger. The 6 guardians were all high gods. One of them was even a peak high god. Could it be that the person who killed the 6 of them was an overgod? Nangong Chun knew very well that even a peak high god wouldn't be able to do it.
Who was it?
Not long after, outside the main hall, 6 corpses were carefully placed inside the main hall. Each of them had a large word on their body. 6 words, Blackstone City Lord.
Who was it?
Nangong Chun couldn't understand. These 6 were the people he had sent to the Zonglong Tian region to inquire about Longao. Why would they die here for no reason? And the meaning of those 6 words was very clear. They were provoking him, provoking the City Lord's mansion. Who in the entire Blackstone region would dare to be so arrogant? Could it be Longao? The first person Nangong Chun thought of was Longao. Without saying anything else, his figure disappeared from the main hall. Dragon City, Pill Pavilion. They had been refining for a day and a night. It seemed as though City Lord Long and Palace Lord Dongfang didn't know the concept of fatigue at all. No one was willing to leave. At a glance, there were still as many people as there had been before. No one had left with the pills. The number of people had decreased, and it seemed as though more and more people were gathering. Such a cheap pill was extremely rare. Naturally, no one would easily give it up. Greetings, City Lord Nangong. This was Dragon City, after all. Many people didn't really care about Nangongchen. But many people had already guessed why Nangongchen had come. He had come to make trouble for City Lord Long again. If it was a year ago, there would definitely be a lot of people watching a good show. They would even hope that Nangongchen would kill Longao. But now, as long as one's brain wasn't flooded with water, they wouldn't think that way. Longao himself was a level 4 pill inscription master. Not only was the effect of the pills he concocted heaven-defying, the price of the pills he concocted was also much lower than the pill hall. If Nangongchen killed Longao, who would he look for in the future? Although he was angry, he didn't dare to say anything. With Nangongchen's strength and status, even if someone was angry, they wouldn't dare to stand out and say anything. Longao, get the hell out here. Longao was one step ahead of Nangongchen and had already returned to the Dragon City Pill Pavilion. Hearing Nangongchen's angry roar, Longao quickly brought Han Yin and Nangong tying out. Nangongchen, are you trying to provoke my pill halls? Han Yin's voice was very cold. The murderous aura on her body was so strong that it seemed to have materialized. Everyone in the surroundings was very curious. They didn't know what had happened and why Nangongchen was so angry. Suppressing the anger in his heart, Nangongchen said, Longao, are you the one who killed the 6 protectors of my City Lord Mansion?
Ah!
The 6 protectors of the City Lord Mansion were killed? Everyone in the surroundings sucked in a breath of cold air when they heard Nangongchen's words. Everyone knew what the protectors of the City Master's mansion signified. They were genuine high gods. A total of 6 high gods were killed. No wonder City Master Nangong was so furious. Most likely, no matter who it was, they would be the same. Han Yin and Dongfang Tying had already heard Longao's words, so they weren't surprised at all. Although Longao was only a peak mid-god, he was already a level 4 array master. If he wanted to kill 6 high gods, as long as he had enough time to set up a formation, it was completely possible. Until now, the two of them still didn't know that Longao killed the 6 high gods without using a formation. The two of them also didn't expect that Longao, who was only a peak mid-god, had already comprehended the Golden Core domain, and even had a heaven-defying killing move like the Primordial Spirit Imprisonment. Longao laughed. Nangongchen, I think you are really shameless to the extreme. I have been refining pills here all this time. Everyone here can testify for me. We can testify for City Lord Long. He has been refining pills here all this time and has never taken a step out of the pill pavilion. That's right. City Lord Long has been refining pills for an entire day and night for us. How could he spare time to kill the 6 protectors of the City Lord Mansion? What a joke. If it was any other time, these people might not stand out to testify. After all, no one was willing to offend Nangongchen. But now, the situation was different. If Longao was killed by Nangongchen, who would they find to refine pills? After all, level 3 and level 4 pills were sold at such a price. At the very least, the pill hall wouldn't be able to buy them. As for whether Longao had left Dragon City after entering the pill pavilion, no one saw it. Nangongchen's expression became more and more unsightly. In fact, he had already guessed that the 6 protectors shouldn't have been killed by Longao, Han Yin, and Dongfang Tuing. After all, the two of them had a high status. If it wasn't Longao, then who could it be? So many people had seen Longao refining pills with their own eyes. Unless Longao had a clone, it was impossible. Nangongchen, I am only a mid-god. Do you think that I can kill your 6 protectors with my own strength? Indeed, It was almost impossible for a mid-god to kill 6 high gods at the same time. Just the Golden Core realm alone wasn't something that a mid-god could control. I have misunderstood you this time.
Goodbye. Wait.
What is it? Nangong Chun, you came to my dragon city for no reason. You pointed at my nose and scolded me. Are we just going to let this go? The surrounding people looked at City Master Longao, who was standing outside of the Pill Pavilion, and gave him a thumbs up in their hearts. Longao was definitely the first person who dared to treat City Master Nangong like this. Just this courage alone was unparalleled. Nangong Chen's expression became even more gloomy. If it was just Longao, he would have killed him with a slap. But he couldn't do it now. Dongfang Tuing and Han Yin were here. If he acted rashly, he would be provoking the Pill Hall. After all, the Pill Hall didn't provoke him first. Endure. He had to endure. His father hadn't returned yet. He couldn't handle the situation here alone. What do you want? Compensation. I was insulted, so you have to compensate me. Everyone looked at this Dragon City Lord in a daze. He was really strong. He actually dared to ask the Blackrock City's City Lord, Nangong Chun, to compensate. Nangong Chun, if you don't compensate, then I will assume that you are deliberately provoking us. I will personally report to the Pill Hall. At that time, Blackrock City will be destroyed. Chapter 2935. It was just an exaggeration. Nangong Chun obviously did not believe Longao's words. The Pill Palace would never attack the Blackstone Heavenly Region for such a small matter. Even if the Pill Hall did not put him in their eyes, it was impossible for them to not be afraid of his father. No matter what, his father was a peak divine king who could kill a divine emperor. Unless the Pill Hall was out of their mind, they would not act rashly. Humph. He harumphed coldly. Nangong Chun suppressed the anger in his heart and quickly left. Longao smiled helplessly. From the beginning, he had never thought of asking the other party to compensate him. The fact was that Nangong Chun would not compensate him. It was already embarrassing for him to leave helplessly. If Nangong Chun really compensated him, then he would be utterly humiliated as the city lord. Everyone, let's continue with the refining.
All right.
Everyone cheered. That was how humans were. Whoever was useful to you would be useful to you. The news of the 6 guardians of the Blackstone City Lord Mansion being killed had spread across the entire Blackstone City, including other cities and towns. Not only that, there was a word written on each of the 6 corpses, for City Lord Nangong. What did that mean? As long as one was not an idiot, one would be able to guess that this person was provoking Nangong Chun. Originally, many people thought that this was done by the City Lord of Dragon City, Longao. Unfortunately, Longao was busy refining the pills and could not care less about it. If it was not Longao, then who could it be? They could not imagine that there would be someone who dared to provoke the City Lord Mansion in the Blackstone Heavenly Region. Who was Nangong Chun? Not only was Nangong Chun the city governor of Blackstone City, but he was also a powerful peak overgod. Not only that, Nangong Chun's father, Nangong Fengfeng, was the domain master of Blackstone Heavenly Region, a freakish divine king who could kill a beginner divine emperor. The news of the 6 guardians of the City Lord Mansion being killed did not disperse for a long time. Everyone was discussing it. At this moment, Nangong Chun was extremely furious. However, there was nothing he could do, because until now he still did not know who was provoking the City Lord Mansion. Who was it that dared to provoke the City Lord Mansion? Was it because of his father? All of a sudden, Nangong Chun seemed to have thought of something. Why didn't it happen earlier or later? Why did it have to happen when his father left? As it seemed, this person had clearly come for him. His father and all the other overgods were not present in Blackrock City right now. If this person really did come, the consequences would be unthinkable. Nangong Chen's last bit of suspicion towards Longao had disappeared. First of all, even if Longao wanted to do so, Han Yin and Dongfang Tuing would definitely stop him. Before they completely shed all pretense of cordiality, Longao's actions were completely provocative. Secondly, Longao was only a mid-level deity. Without the help of the two overgods, Longao alone would not be able to contend with any one of them, let alone killing 6 high-level deities at the same time. Even Nangongqin did not expect that Longao, who was only a middle god, had already comprehended the Golden Core realm and even had the primordial spirit shackle. For hours after Nangongqin left, Longao secretly left Dragon City again and moved into Blackrock City without anyone noticing. The City Lord's mansion and the Domain Chief's mansion, one in the east and one in the west. According to rumors, originally, the Domain Chief's mansion and the City Lord's mansion were actually the same mansion. However, later on, Nangong Fengfeng accidentally found a 10,000-year fire lotus and directly moved the Domain Chief's mansion away. He wanted to wait for the 10,000-year fire lotus to mature and find someone to refine a treasure. There was no overgod in the Domain Chief's mansion, only a few dozen high gods. Longao had already entered the Domain Chief's mansion without anyone noticing. However, he was curious as to why Nangong Fengfeng would leave such an important item like the 10,000-year fire lotus without worry. Was there something fishy going on? However, since things had already come to this, there was no way he would back down. Longao knew very well that if he wanted to continue to become a level 5 elixir inscription master, he had to upgrade the heart-burning lotus. And the best thing for that was the 10,000-year fire lotus. Even if he knew that there was danger ahead, he had to go. Longao definitely could not sense the existence of the 10,000-year fire lotus. However, it did not mean that the heart-burning lotus could not sense it. With the help of the heart-burning lotus, he quickly locked onto the exact location of the 10,000-year fire lotus. There was a huge cave under the Domain Chief's mansion. At first glance, it was very big. In the middle of the cave, there was a small pool with a fiery red lotus in it. Without guessing, Longao knew that the lotus in front of him was the 10,000-year fire lotus that he was looking for. He had searched high and low for it, only to find it by sheer luck. Just as Longao took a step forward and was about to let the heart-burning lotus devour him, a powerful attack suddenly appeared from all directions. In fact, before coming, Longao had already thought about letting the heart-burning lotus devour him, regardless of whether the 10,000-year fire lotus had matured or not. After all, he could not stay here and wait for the 10,000-year fire lotus to mature. If he forcibly devoured an unripe 10,000-year fire lotus, the effect would definitely not be satisfactory. However, since things had already come to this, he could not care about other things. Level 6 formation. Emperor Slaying Formation. Now that Longao was a level 4 formation master, he certainly knew what a level 6 formation meant. No wonder Nangong Fengyan dared to leave the Domain Chief's mansion without a single divine god. With such a powerful formation, even a divine emperor would not be able to escape, let alone others. As Longao thought, it was not a secret that the Domain Chief's mansion had the 10,000-year fire lotus. Until now, no one had dared to snatch it, not even a divine emperor. Was it really because Nangong Fengyan had once killed a divine emperor? It was completely nonsense. Even if Nangong Fengyan could kill a junior divine emperor, it was impossible for him to kill a middle divine emperor, or even a senior divine emperor, or a peak divine emperor. However, the 10,000-year fire lotus was still here after so many years. Apart from the fact that the 10,000-year fire lotus had not matured, and it was meaningless to take it away, the Emperor Slaying Formation was the biggest reason. As for whether a powerful divine emperor would come to snatch the 10,000-year fire lotus after it matured, no one knew. However, Longao did not care about these things. Now that the Emperor Slaying Formation had been activated, it was still unknown whether he could leave the Emperor Slaying Formation alive, let alone devouring the 10,000-year fire lotus. Longao cursed in his heart. Nangong Fengyan was really influential to have invited a level 6 formation master to set up the Emperor Slaying Formation. After all, he knew better than anyone else what a level 6 formation master meant. The status of a level 6 formation master was even higher than a divine emperor. He didn't dare to hesitate and immediately began to dodge. Although he hadn't seen the emperor-slaying formation with his own eyes, he knew that it was very powerful. It was impossible for him to break the emperor-slaying formation with his current level of formation. Chapter 2936. The strength of the emperor-slaying formation had far exceeded Longao's knowledge. Indeed, it was a grade 6 formation. If not for the fact that he had advanced to a grade 4 formation master, he might not even be able to defend against a single wave of attacks. Even so, Longao had already entered the Chaos Palace before the second wave of attacks landed. His face was grim. If he could not break out of the Emperor-slaying formation, he would not be able to obtain the 10,000 years Fire Lotus. What should he do? He was helpless. Longao knew his own level of setting up arrays. Wanting to rely on a level 4 array to break the level 6 Emperor Extermination array was like a fool's dream. It was almost impossible, unless he could advance to a grade 6 formation master. But was that possible? That was practically impossible. Longao knew how difficult it was to advance from a grade 4 formation master to a grade 6 formation master. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Blackie, what's wrong with you? Right now, Blackie was already a pinnacle upper god who could devour everything. He was extremely strong. Even till now, Lin Fan did not know what sort of spirit beast Blackie was. You can help me get the 10,000 years Fire Lotus? Hearing Blackie's boo-hoo, Longao finally understood what Blackie meant. Given Blackie's strength, it was naturally impossible for him to break out of the Emperor-slaying formation. However, Blackie could be immune to the attacks of the Emperor-slaying formation. This was something that Longao had not expected. He had never seen such a heaven-defying spirit beast before. To think that it could evade the attacks of a grade 6 Emperor-slaying formation. There was no time to lose. No one knew when Nangong Fengyun would return. Therefore, he had to obtain the 10,000 years Fire Lotus in the shortest time possible. Under such circumstances, Longao could not be bothered about whether the 10,000 years Fire Lotus had matured or not. By the time Nangong Fengyun returned, he would not even be able to take away the unmatured 10,000 years Fire Lotus. Go and bring the 10,000 years Fire Lotus back. Blackie booed twice and left the chaos world instantly. He sped towards the pool in front of him at a speed as fast as lightning. The moment Blackie returned with the 10,000 years Fire Lotus, a horrifying aura arrived. He thought to himself, that was close. How could Longao not know who the owner of this aura was? He was shocked because he never thought that he would be so lucky. Little Black had just returned to the Primal Chaos Palace, and Nangong Fengyun had already appeared. If he was a step late, he could imagine the consequences. As expected, just as Blackie entered the Primal Chaos Palace, Nangong Fengyun's figure appeared instantly. He stared at the pool in front of him, but the 10,000-year Fire Lotus was no longer there. The Royal Slaying Array had obviously been activated. Who was it? Have there been any unusual movements recently? Suppressing the anger in his heart, he had guarded the 10,000-year Flame Lotus for so many years, waiting for it to mature and refine a treasure. It was about to mature, and it would have matured in at most 10 years, but it was taken away by someone else. How could he not be furious? What was the use of being angry? Nangong Chun didn't know what had happened, but he could clearly feel an endless murderous aura from his father. Nothing unusual. It's just, but what? Nangong Chun didn't dare to hide anything. He told his father everything that had happened, not daring to leave out a single word, because he still didn't know what had happened to his father. Could it be that the previous incident had something to do with his father? Father, I have already investigated this matter. It's not Longao's doing. He has been staying in the Dragon City Elixir Pavilion to refine elixirs. Nangong Fengyun waved his hand. Nangong Fengyun's face was extremely gloomy as he said, the level 6 Royal Slaying Array can't be broken by a level 4 Array Master. Nangong Chun wasn't a fool. He instantly understood what his father meant. Something had happened to the 10,000-year Flame Lotus. Nangong Chun was shocked. He knew how much his father needed the 10,000-year Flame Lotus. Once it matured and was refined into a treasure, according to his father, his combat strength would soar again. At that time, it wouldn't be difficult for him to kill a junior divine emperor. Others might not know, but how could he not know? His father had fought with a junior divine emperor to snatch the 10,000-year flame lotus. Although his father won in the end, it was a Pyrrhic victory. He was almost killed by the junior divine emperor. If he could refine the 10,000-year flame lotus into a treasure, he would have a great chance of winning against a junior divine emperor.
But now?
The 10,000-year flame lotus was taken away by someone. It was absolutely a bolt out of the blue for his father, who was so bold to risk being killed by the royal slaying array. He couldn't figure it out. He really couldn't figure it out. Humph. This person must be a level 6 array master to be able to avoid the royal slaying array silently. Moreover, his array skills must be very powerful. Nangong Fingyun's face became more and more solemn. At this time, he didn't know what to say. He was almost certain that the person was not only a divine emperor expert, but also a powerful level 6 array master. Even if such an expert forcibly snatched the 10,000-year flame lotus, he wouldn't be able to keep it. But what was the result? This person didn't snatch the 10,000-year flame lotus openly, but sneakily. Nangong Fingyun's intuition told him that this matter wasn't that simple. Such an expert didn't need to do this. Was it really Longao? It was impossible. According to his son, Longao was still a medium god. Even if he was gifted and had broken through to the peak of the lower god realm, the gap between a lower god realm and a divine emperor realm was too big. In addition, Longao was only a level 4 array master. How could he sneak past a level 6 array master's royal slaying array silently? Longao was basically ruled out. Nangong Fingyun couldn't hide the fact that the 10,000-year flame lotus had been stolen. In just one day, the news had spread all over the Blackstone city and even the entire Blackstone heavenly domain. Many divine emperors wanted to snatch the 10,000-year flame lotus. However, after hearing the news, their first reaction was disbelief. How could the 10,000-year flame lotus be lost? It was complete nonsense. There was a level 6 array master's royal slaying array in the domain chief's manor. Even divine emperors didn't dare to enter it casually. A level 6 array master had once killed a divine emperor with this powerful array master's help. Therefore, even divine emperors were afraid of it. Otherwise, someone would have come to snatch the 10,000-year flame lotus. Many divine emperors didn't believe it. They went to the domain chief's manor to investigate. Many people knew that the 10,000-year flame lotus hadn't matured yet, but this person couldn't wait. Obviously, he didn't want to give others a chance. Not to mention Nangong Fingyun. Even the other divine emperors were furious. However, this person had done it so secretly that no one knew about it. Perhaps Nangong Fingyun was the one who stole the 10,000-year flame lotus and set the trap himself. Chapter 2937. Dragon City. After dozens of days of refining, the elixir pavilion finally came to an end. After this incident, many people were grateful to Longao and Palace Master Dongfang. After all, not everyone had the courage to sell the elixir at such a low price. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Longao was very excited. Not only did he win the hearts of the people, but he also got the 10,000 years fire lotus. Without Blackie, it was impossible to break the emperor-slaying array. Brother Long, this must not be leaked out. The outside world is in a mess. Many divine emperors have appeared. Some of them even went to the domain master's mansion. Han Yin was also surprised. It was really unexpected that Longao could break the emperor-slaying array. Level 6 emperor-slaying array, a level 6 array that could even kill a divine emperor. What about Longao? Longao was only a level 4 array master. Under normal circumstances, it was impossible for him to break a level 6 array. As for how Longao did it, Han Yin and Dongfang Tuing did not ask. It's not a bad thing to kill someone with a borrowed knife. Dongfang Tuing shook his head and said, "It's not possible." After all, Nangong Fengyun is a peak divine king who could kill a beginner divine emperor. Unless it's a matter of life and death, no one would really attack Nangong Fengyun. Of course, Longao knew what Dongfang Tuing meant. There was nothing he could do. Brother Dongfang, Sister Han, I'm going to devour the 10,000 years fire lotus now. What if Nangong Fengyun comes? Longao was very confident about this. Longao smiled and said, "Don't worry. Nangong Fengyun and Nangong Chen won't come. Their suspicion of me has been completely eliminated. A middle god, even a level 4 array master, can't pass through the level 6 emperor slaying array and take the 10,000 years fire lotus without anyone noticing." After Longao entered the Chaos Palace, Han Yin looked very serious. She said helplessly, "Brother Dongfang, you should know what the 10,000 years fire lotus means to Nangong Fengyun. If this matter is leaked out, I'm afraid Nangong Fengyun will not tolerate it even with the protection of the Pill Hall. Not to mention Nangong Fengyun, no matter who it was, they would be furious upon encountering such a situation. Since things have come to this, we can only take one step at a time." Leak? There were only 3 people who knew about this. As long as they didn't speak of it, who would know? Inside the chaos shop, looking at little hay in front of him, Longao stroked its head lovingly. "I really didn't expect you to be so powerful. To be immune to the 6th level of the Royal Slaying Array, such terrifying strength was really unbelievable. Big brother, if it were any other formation, I might not be able to pass through it. Only the level 6 Emperor Slaying formation is of no use to me."
Huh.
Longao was surprised to hear Blackie speak. "You can speak now." Yes, something suddenly appeared in my mind, so I was able to speak before I knew it. What did that mean? Could it be an inheritance? Longao certainly knew what Blackie meant. It seemed that Blackie's identity was indeed not simple. This kind of mythological beast with inheritance was not simple at all. "Blackie, what's your tribe?" "I don't have a tribe. The thing I just obtained, I think I'm a heaven-devouring beast. I'm the only one in the entire Chaos Realm." Heaven-devouring beast? Just this name alone was enough to tell how powerful Blackie was. "Big brother, is the thing that appeared in my mind an inheritance?" "It should be," Blackie said in surprise. "I just obtained a divine ability called Heaven-Devouring. Although I'm only a high-level god now, I can devour beginner-level lords and even mid-level lords." Lin Fan was shocked. Longao had already guessed that Blackie was powerful, but he was still shocked by Blackie's strength. No one would believe that a high-level god could devour a mid-level lord. "Blackie, if you were to devour a peak lord, would you be able to succeed?" Nangong Chen's cultivation was already a peak lord. Even if Lin Fan could not defeat Nangong Fengyun, it would be great if he could kill Nangong Chen first. "Big brother, you think too highly of me. Even if my heaven-devouring divine ability is extremely powerful, I can only devour mid-level lords at most. If I want to devour a peak lord, I'll have to raise my cultivation to beginner-level lords. What if I'm included?" Although Longao's cultivation was only a peak mid-level god, he was a level 4 formation master. If the two were to combine, would they really be able to kill Nangong Chen? How could Blackie not know what his big brother meant? After thinking for a while, he said, "Big brother, if you can set up a super level 4 formation and trap him, I can give it a try. I might really be able to devour him."
All right.
As long as Nangong Chen was alive, he would always be a big problem. Longao would of course not make things difficult for himself. Although he had the protection of the Pill Hall, who knew what would happen in the future. Moreover, he did not know when his family would break through and be teleported to the chaotic realm. Therefore, he had to establish his force and kill Nangong Chen in advance. Longao would take the risk and not act rashly. If Nangong Fengyun knew about this, even if the Pill Hall was to protect him, Nangong Fengyun would not let him go easily. Therefore, he had to kill Nangong Chen secretly, without anyone knowing. Nangong Fengyun would not think of him, just like the matter of the 10,000 years fire lotus. "What? You want to kill Nangong Chen?" As soon as Dongfang Tuing finished speaking, Han Yin immediately said, Brother Long, are you crazy? Big brother Dongfang, and I will not help you to kill Nangong Chen. If that's the case, Nangong Fengyun will definitely not let it go. At that time, I'm afraid, Han Yin did not want to continue speaking. Nangong Fengyun loved his son the most. Otherwise, he would not have helped Nangong Chen break through to the early divine king realm and become the city lord of Black Rock City. Han Yin was almost certain that if Nangong Chen was really killed, Nangong Fengyun would definitely take action even if it was the pill hall. It was simply impossible. Longao knew what Big Brother Dongfang and Sister Han meant. He smiled and said, Big Brother Dongfang, Sister Han, of course I know what you mean. However, if we kill Nangong Chen without anyone knowing, then this matter will not be a problem. As for killing Nangong Chen, the two of you do not have to take action. I alone will be enough. This time, I must succeed. Nangong Chen will definitely die. Chapter 2938. Deal with it alone? Until now, the two of them still couldn't believe that Longao could kill Nangong Chen alone. Nangong Chen was a true pinnacle master god. As for Longao, he was just a pinnacle middle god. The difference between the two of them was too big. For a middle god to kill a master god was like a fool's dream. Longao didn't say anything, and the two of them didn't ask. Since they were friends, there were things to be said and things to be asked. Longao didn't attack immediately. If he wanted to kill Nangong Chen, he had to do it perfectly. Otherwise, if Nangong Feng got hold of this, the consequences would be unimaginable. The Black Rock City was in a mess now. Many god emperors came to the Black Rock City. They didn't believe Nangong Feng's words at all. In their eyes, Nangong Feng was purposely trying to take the 10,000 years Fire Lotus for himself. But what made them furious was that the 10,000 years Fire Lotus wasn't mature yet. Nangong Feng's actions had reduced the effectiveness of the 10,000 years Fire Lotus by several folds. What kind of concept was that? But Nangong Feng was strong enough to be fearless. If the 10,000 years Fire Lotus was at its peak, someone might try to snatch it and even fight with Nangong Feng. But now, an unmature 10,000 years Fire Lotus wouldn't be of much use even if they tried to snatch it. They might even fight with Nangong Feng to the death. If it was an ordinary pinnacle god king, the god emperors would have attacked long ago. But Nangong Feng wasn't simple. Within the Chaos Palace, Longao didn't plan to kill Nangong Chen immediately. The most important thing now was to let the burning heart flame lotus devour the 10,000 years Fire Lotus to level up. Even though the 10,000 years Fire Lotus wasn't mature yet, things had already come to this. He could only forcefully devour it. TSK. The burning heart flame lotus devoured the 10,000 years Fire Lotus and started to merge. After 3 days and 3 nights, the burning heart flame lotus finally managed to level up after devouring the 10,000 years Fire Lotus. Even so, Longao was pleasantly surprised. Longao was confident that the burning heart flame lotus level up. He was a level 5 elixir inscription master.
Lane.
Once he became a level elixir inscription master, he would be an important existence. Black Rock City. After disguising himself, Longao concealed his aura and quietly moved into Black Rock City. No one would be able to recognize him. There were 20 to 30 overgods in the City Lord's Manor and the Domain Lord's Manor. Not including Nangong Feng, a peak godly king, it was almost impossible for them to kill Nangong Chen secretly. Yunshi? Just as Longao was trying to think of a way to deal with Nangong Chen suddenly appeared in front of him. What was Yunshi doing here? Longao knew very well that Nangong Chen still did not know about his relationship with Yunshi. Once he found out, he could imagine the consequences. At that time, Nangong Chen would definitely deal with Yunshi. He could not implicate Yunshi. Sister Yun, come with me.
Who are you?
Longao. Looking at the middle-aged man who had suddenly appeared in front of her, Yunshi was very surprised. However, she could recognize Longao's gaze. She nodded excitedly and immediately followed Longao into the distance. In a secluded room of an inn. Sister Yun, why are you here? Longao was very curious. He did not believe that Sister Yun did not know what had happened between him and Blackrock City. If that was the case, why did Sister Yun still dare to come here? Brother Long, I really did not expect that in such a short time, not only have you become a peak mid-god, but you have also become a level 3 pill inscription master and a level 3 array master. Level 3 pill inscription master and level 3 array master? Longao only smiled. If Sister Yun knew that he was no longer a level 3 pill inscription master and a level 3 array master, she would definitely be surprised. Originally, I wanted to go to Dragon City to look for you. However, I had some matters to attend to, so I came to Blackrock City first. I see. Sister Yun, how is Qian-er? Longao was very concerned about Qian-er. Although Qian-er had received her master's inheritance, before she broke through to the godly emperor realm, she was not 100% safe. For some reason, Yun-shi felt somewhat uncomfortable. However, she still smiled and said, ever since Sister Qian-er returned to the family, she has been in seclusion to refine her inheritance. As for what level she has reached, even I do not know. Qian-er has not come out of seclusion even once. Sister Yun, when you return to the Yun family, immediately think of a way to sever all ties with me. Once Blackrock City finds out, we will be in big trouble. Grandfather has already done so. Longao felt somewhat amused. He had been worrying for nothing. If the Yun family had not done so, given the powerful forces of Blackrock City, he believed that they would have discovered his relationship with the Yun family long ago. Most likely, the Yun family would have been destroyed by now. Seeing that the Yun family was fine, Longao more or less let out a sigh of relief. Sister Yun, if the other two great families of Cosmos City are destroyed, will your Yun family become the sole ruler of Cosmos City? After letting out a deep sigh, Yunshi said helplessly, the other two great families have high gods holding the fort. Unless we have the help of an over-god, it is almost impossible for our Yun family to destroy the other two great families and become the sole ruler of Cosmos City. Longao was only at the peak of the middle god realm. It was impossible for him to fight against a high god. As for why he could contend against Blackrock City, in Yunshi's opinion, it was all because of the pill hall. If it was not for the pill hall, forget about one Longao. Even 10,000 Longaos would not be a match for Blackrock City. Longao only smiled. Although he was now at the peak of the middle god realm, it was not difficult for him to kill a high god. If it was just the Yun family alone, he would not even ask. However, Yunshi was ultimately a disciple of the Yun family. He would just consider it as helping the Yun family. Sister Yun, I have a way to help you get rid of the other two great families without anyone knowing. After saying that, Longao suddenly thought of Ling Ruai. If he were to destroy the Ling family, it would be a little too unkind. As though she could guess what Longao was thinking, Yunshi smiled helplessly and said, if the Yun family were to rule Cosmos City, the Blackrock Domain Chief's manor would definitely not be able to do it. If we could get rid of the Yi family's high god, then we and the Ling family would each take half of the city. That might not be a bad thing. Just as he said Longao, he regretted it. Now that Yunshi had said so, it was exactly what he wanted. Wait a moment. I will go with you to Cosmos City and get rid of the Yi family. Speaking of the Yi family, Yunshi seemed to have thought of something. She said, Brother Long, I don't know why, but I keep feeling that something is wrong with the Yi family. He did not hide anything and roughly recounted what had happened in Qianquan City. Until now, Yunshi was still a little curious. She did not know what the Yi family was up to and why they had to endure all of a sudden. It was really a little strange. Chapter 2939. Brother Long, there must be something fishy going on with the Yi family. Let's just wait and see. He shook his head. If it was before, Longao would not have attacked so casually. After all, a superior god was not someone he could fight against. But now, the situation was different. He could kill a superior god. Even if he encountered a beginner or intermediate lord, Xiaohe could use the devouring heavenly power to devour them. Towards the Yi family, Longao originally had the intention to kill. Sister Yun, are you done with your business? How could Yun she not know what Longao was thinking? I'm done. But Brother Long, can you really kill a superior god? Longao smiled and left quickly with Yun Shi. Qianquan City. This was Longao's second return to Qianquan City. Previously, he killed Yi Han and 4 intermediate gods of the Yi family. According to Sister Yun, the Yi family was like a mad dog, biting people everywhere. Longao came back secretly this time. Neither the Yun family nor the Ling family knew about it. Yi family. Yi Feng and Yi Zhuang were discussing something with serious expressions. They were a little rash earlier, causing the Yun family and the Ling family to join forces and put the Yi family in a passive position. What are the Yun family and the Ling family doing? Yi Zhuang replied immediately, Father, the Yun family and the Ling family are very afraid of you. So, unless it's a last resort, they won't break the balance casually. Yi Zhuang was no fool. His father's strength was obvious. Unless the two families were confident that they could defeat his father, it would be a joke if the two families wanted to destroy his family. Balance. Yi Feng was helpless. If the 2 old men of the Yun family and the Ling family joined forces, he was no match for them. Looks like we'll have to take the initiative and destroy them one by one. Just you? Suddenly, a disdainful laugh came from the hall. It was very strange. Who is it? Looking at the young man who suddenly appeared in front of him, Yi Zhuang asked immediately, Who are you? Yi Zhuang and Yi Feng heaved a sigh of relief. They thought that their opponent was a powerful, superior god. They did not expect him to be just a medium god. Who I am is not important. What is important is that after today, there will no longer be any Yi clan in Qianquan City. Arrogant. Yi Zhuang was furious. He was also at the peak of the mid-level deity stage. He took a step forward and punched his opponent with both fists. But what was the result? It was just one move. Longao did not want to waste any time. He wanted to end the battle quickly. A blood-curdling scream rang out. Then, Yi Zhuang's body flew backwards. Yi Feng's expression changed. He didn't dare to be careless. He immediately started to attack his opponent. No wonder the other party dared to provoke them. It turned out that they had something to rely on. He didn't waste any time. Before Longao came in, he had already set up a concealment array, so no one outside knew what happened in the Yi family. It could be said that no one knew. Xiaohe's huge body suddenly appeared, and before Yi Feng could react, it had already swallowed him. Here,
Crunch.
it swallowed Yi Feng in one gulp. According to Xiaohe, with his current devouring divine power, he could even swallow beginner lords and mid-level lords, let alone a superior god. Until his death, Yi Feng had no idea what was going on. He had never seen such a powerful divine beast. It was only a superior god, but it could swallow him by force. Cut the weeds and eliminate the roots to prevent future trouble. With this principle in mind, Longao began to wipe out the entire Yi family in the next second. Not a single person was left alive. In just a few dozen minutes, the entire Yi family was slaughtered. Longao was very clear in his heart that today's matter must not be leaked out. Otherwise, not only him, even the Yun family and the Ling family would be in great trouble. As long as the Black Rock City's City Lord Mansion was willing, it would be too easy to destroy the 2 great families. The next day, early morning, the news of the Yi family's destruction had spread throughout Qianquan City. At first, it was thought that it was the Yun family and the Ling family who did it. However, the 2 families were also looking for the culprit. Could it not be the 2 families who did it? However, after thinking about it, it made sense. The 2 families probably could not have done it. If they had such great strength, the 2 families would have joined forces and destroyed the Yi family long ago. Why would they wait until now and do something superfluous? Qianquan City was originally a tripartite city. However, with the destruction of the Yi family, the tripartite city was now split into 2 families, each with half of the city. Although the Yun family and the Ling family did not know what was going on with the destruction of the Yi family, they were pleasantly surprised. Without the Yi family, the two families could completely dominate the Yi family's business. To the two families, this was undoubtedly a great thing. Brother Long, did you really destroy the Yi families? Looking at the young man in front of her, Yunxi still could not believe that it was true. There was no need to mention Yi Feng's strength. Even if her grandfather personally took action, he might not have full confidence in winning. Not to mention, he did it without anyone knowing. She did not know how Longao did it. Sister Yun, to be honest, previously I accidentally became friends with a little guy. He recently obtained an inheritance and a divine ability called Devour the Heavens. He can devour any high god.
Ah,
Devour any high god? What kind of concept was that? Yun, she was shocked. No wonder Longao was so confident that he could kill Yi Feng and exterminate the Yi family. With the help of such a divine beast, not to mention exterminating the Yi family, even exterminating the Yun family and Ling family would be a matter of minutes. Sister Yun, I will leave Qianquan City secretly later. If there's anything in the future, you can look for me in Dragon City. If I'm not around, you can look for Sister Han or Brother Dongfang. They will help you. Of course, Yunxi knew who the Sister Han and Brother Dongfang that Longao mentioned were. One of them was an elder from the Pill Palace's main hall, while the other was the palace master of the sub-hall. It could be said that the two of them were high and mighty. No matter if it was strength or status, they were not something that she could compare with. Looking at the young man in front of her, Yunxi was a little absent-minded. Longao had just stepped into the chaotic world. It had only been a few years, but his achievements were already far beyond many people. If it was someone else who dared to offend the Blackrock City's City Lord Mansion and the Domain Master's Mansion, the Pill Palace would definitely not interfere. However, not only did the Pill Palace interfere with Longao, they even offended the City Lord Mansion and the Domain Master's Mansion for Longao. They even pulled the sub-hall out of the Blackrock City. It was something that was unimaginable. Something that was impossible to happen actually happened to Longao. It was unbelievable. Chapter 2940. Are you going to leave again? Can't you stay for a few more days? Longao wasn't an idiot. How could he not know Yunxi's attitude towards him? It would be a lie if he said he wasn't moved at all. However, could he really accept Yunxi's feelings? Absolutely not. Sister Yun. How could Yunxi not know what Longao wanted to say? Before Longao could say anything, Yunxi had already said, Brother Long, could it be that you really don't have any feelings for me?
yes.
Although he couldn't accept it, Longao didn't want to lie to Sister Yun. Yunxi's face lit up. She immediately said, if that's the case, I don't want to hear anything else. I just want to tell you one thing. No matter what danger it is, Yunxi, am not afraid. Looking at Sister Yun, Longao sighed deeply. Since Sister Yun had said so, what else could he say? 3 days later, I will leave Cosmo City. Okay? In the end, Longao's heart softened. He couldn't bear to let down Sister Yun's feelings. However, this matter couldn't be leaked out. If Nangong Chun and the others knew about it, the consequences would be unimaginable. When it came to the Yi family, neither the Yun family nor the Ling family knew that it was Longao who did it. 3 days later, under Yunxi's reluctance, Longao finally left Cosmo City. Originally, he wanted to deal with Nangong Chun. Unfortunately, Nangong Fengyan never left Blackrock City after the 10,000 years Fire Lotus was stolen. It was impossible for him to make a move in Blackrock City. He might even end up worse off. Following the establishment of the Pill Pavilion, its reputation grew. It brought Dragon City back to life. It was even more prosperous than before. The Pill Hall still turned a blind eye to the Pill Pavilion in Dragon City. As long as the Pill Pavilion didn't leave Dragon City, it would never be able to threaten the Pill Hall's position. Just as Longao was thinking of a way to deal with Nangong Chen, Hanin suddenly came to find him. Out of curiosity, Longao didn't continue to stay in Blackrock City. He immediately returned to Dragon City. In the lobby, Big Sister Han, why did you call me back in such a hurry? Hanin said in surprise. Longao, the heaven's path has opened. If you want to increase your strength as quickly as possible, you have to enter the heaven's path. Heaven's Road? Longao was very unfamiliar with Heaven's Road and did not know what it was. Sister Han, what is Heaven's Road? Of course, Hanin knew that Longao had just stepped into the primal chaos realm, and it had only been a few years since then. He definitely would know what the Heaven's Path was. Brother Long, the heavenly path is divided into 2 layers. The first layer can only be entered by low gods, mid gods, and high gods. After entering, not only will you be able to obtain all sorts of treasures and fortuitous encounters, your strength will even rise far above the outside world. He nodded. How could Longao not go to such a good place? Big Brother Dongfang, Big Sister Han, do you know where the entrance to Heaven's Road is? Every heaven domain has them. He was startled. According to the 2 of them, not only could Heaven's Path be entered by martial artists from the lower 33 heaven domains, but even martial artists from the middle 33 heaven domains and upper 33 heaven domains could enter. What did this mean? The primal chaos realm's 99 heaven domains had endless geniuses. It seemed that the Heaven's Path was definitely not simple. Before Long Ao could ask, Dongfang Tu-ing continued, Brother Long, every time the Heaven's Path opens, there is no time limit. When entering the Heaven's Path, other than dealing with the dangers of the Heaven's Path itself, you have to deal with the martial artists from the various heaven domains. Those who can come out alive are few and far between. Long Ao had guessed this point. Big Brother Dongfang, you just said the lower layer of the Heaven's Path. What about the upper layer? Only master gods can enter the upper layer. Could it be that god kings and above can't enter the Heaven's Path? Of course not. The Heaven's Path's restriction is that god kings and above, including god kings, can enter. If you force your way in, you will be killed by the Heaven's Path. I see. Long Ao could not wait to enter the Heaven's Path. If he could become a superior god in the Heaven's Path, or even break through to the Master God realm, that would be the best. I wonder where the entrance of the Heaven's Path is in the Black Stone domain. Black Stone Mountain Range. Long Ao was definitely familiar with the Black Stone Mountain Range. As the largest mountain range in the Black Stone domain, there were dangers everywhere in the Black Stone Mountain Range. It was also the gathering place of spiritual beasts and divine beasts. Not to mention ordinary people. Even god kings would not dare to casually step in. When? The Heaven's Path will open in a month's time. A month's time was nothing for martial artists. No matter who it was, they would place great importance on the Heaven's Path. Although the Heaven's Path was filled with dangers, once one came out alive, their strength would greatly increase. Not to mention Dragon City. Even the city lord of the Black Stone City, Nangong Chen, was preparing to enter the Heaven's Path. Because according to the rules of the Heaven's Path, master gods could enter the upper levels of the Heaven's Path. He had been preparing to be stuck at the peak master god realm for many years. If he could make use of this opportunity to break through to the god king realm, it would be the best thing. Everyone was preparing. In the 99 heaven domains, those who wanted to enter the Heaven's Path had already gone to the entrance. After all, there were 99 entrances to the Heaven's Path. Each time it opened, it would only last for a few hours. Sometimes, most people would not even be able to enter the Heaven's Path. In the end, there were too many people who wanted to enter the Heaven's Path. Brother Long, although many people want to enter the Heaven's Path, 80% of them are unwilling to enter. Because every time they enter the Heaven's Path, at least 90% of them will fall in the heaven domain. Big Brother Dongfang, Sister Han, the 2 of you must be careful in the upper levels of the Heaven's Path. According to my guess, Nangong Chen will bring a large number of experts into the upper levels of the Heaven's Path. At that time, he will definitely surround and kill the 2 of you. Because he knows that only by killing the 2 of you can he deal with me. Hani nodded and said, Of course we know what you're talking about. But this time, Nangong Chen will not let go of such an opportunity. Not only will he deal with us, but he will also deal with you. I'll kill whoever comes. Longao couldn't wait for Nangong Chen to send more people. At that time, he would be able to eliminate the root of the problem. Not only could he contend against a high god with his strength, even Xiaohe could easily devour a high god. But this was also true. After entering the lower levels of the Heaven's Path, he was practically an invincible existence. Unless a high master god came, he wouldn't need to be afraid of anyone. Chapter 2941. The Heavens Road was about to open. Longao naturally wouldn't want to continue dealing with Nangong Chen. Although there was still a month before the Heavens Road opened, the three of them decided to head to the Blackstone Mountains in advance. Every time the Heavens Road opened, there were too many warriors entering. 60% of them couldn't enter. With the speed of the three of them, they had already smoothly entered the Blackstone Mountain range in a short few days. The Blackstone Mountains was the largest mountain range in the Blackstone Heavenly region. When Longao and the other two entered the Blackstone Mountains, they realized that there were people everywhere. Some were in groups, some were alone. The Blackstone Mountains were already extremely large. Even so, they could still see people everywhere. No matter who it was, no one dared to step into the depths of the Blackstone Mountains. If they provoked a powerful divine beast, they might not even be able to leave the heavenly region alive, let alone enter the heavenly region. Every time the Heavens Road opens, countless warriors die. It's really a tragedy. Dongfang Tuing sighed. Nangong Chen really came. Ever since they entered the Blackstone Mountains, Longao had been paying attention to Nangong Chen and the others. As expected, not only did Nangong Chen come, but he also brought many overgods, including high gods. It was obvious what Nangong Chen wanted to do once they stepped into the Heavens Road. If it was anyone else, they would have wet their pants in fear when facing such a powerful opponent. Only Longao. Not to mention Nangong Chen. He didn't even fear Nangong Feng. When Longao and the other two discovered Nangong Chen also discovered Longao and the other two. They're coming. After a short while, Nangong Chen and the others arrived in front of Longao and the other two. They sneered and said, "Longao, I hope you can come out alive after entering the Heavens Road." What did that mean? Han Yin's face suddenly turned cold. She said coldly, "Nangong Chen, can I assume that you're threatening the people of the Pill Hall?" Ha ha ha, Elder Han, you're overthinking. I'm just reminding the three of you that the Heavens Road is full of dangers. Once you step in, your life and death will be up to the heavens. I hope you can come out alive. Han Yin was furious. Longao waved his hand and stopped Han Yin. He smiled and said, "Sister Han, if a dog bites you, are you going to bite back?"
Poochie.
Han Yin couldn't hold back her laughter, and the people around her laughed as well. Many people knew about the enmity between Longao and the Blackrock City's city lord, but they never thought that the enmity between the two would reach such a stage. What are you? How dare you speak to the city lord like this? Who the hell are you? How dare you talk to me like that? One of the high gods behind Longao looked extremely furious. He took a step forward and arrived in front of Longao and the other two in an instant. He sent a palm strike towards Longao. The Jindan domain enveloped Longao. The reason why high gods were superior to mid-gods was because of their Jindan domain. Absolute suppression. Everyone thought that Longao would be at a disadvantage this time. Originally, they thought that Elder Han and Palace Master Dongfang would help him. But what was the result? No matter if it was Han Yin or Dongfang Tuing, they didn't make a move. They just watched coldly. What was going on? Was there something fishy going on? Nangong Chen didn't make a move either. He just watched coldly. In his opinion, the reason why the two didn't make a move was because they were afraid of him or his father. If that was the case, he could let his subordinates teach Longao a good lesson. Nangong Chen had already decided that if Longao dared to step into the heavenly road, he would definitely kill him. Not only did he have to deal with Longao, but he also had to kill Han Yin and Dongfang Tuing while they were in the heavenly road. He definitely couldn't do that outside, but after entering the heavenly road, it was a completely different matter. cut the weeds, and eliminate the roots to prevent future troubles. Because of this, Nangong Chun brought many high gods and master gods into the heavenly road, no matter if they were from the upper or lower levels. It should be more than enough to deal with the three of them. This person was vicious and merciless. Even if he didn't dare to kill him because of the pill hall, he still had to teach him a good lesson. He might even cripple him. That was why there was an accident. But what was the result? When this person released his golden core domain, Longao wasn't affected at all. With the release of his primordial spirit imprisonment, Longao could do it without anyone noticing. A miserable scream resounded through the entire Blackstone Mountain range. Before the crowd could react, the high god who attacked just now had already fallen to the ground. His whole body was trembling, and he looked extremely tragic. In the blink of an eye, he had already gone crazy. What was going on? Everyone's expression changed when they saw the trembling high god lying on the ground. This was especially true for Nangongchen. His face was as gloomy as it could get. Dongfang Tuing, Hanin, are you looking for troubles? Not only Nangongchen, even the others thought that with Longao's strength as a mid-god, how could he defeat a high god in one move? Even they didn't know what was going on. The only explanation was that it wasn't done by Longao, but by the two master gods beside Longao. Han Yin and Dongfang Tuing didn't deny it. Of course, they knew what was going on. Although Longao was only a mid-god, he had already comprehended his own golden core domain. It was just that the two of them were very curious. They didn't know how Longao did it. He was actually able to defeat a high god without anyone noticing. With a single glance, they knew that this high god was completely crippled. Nangong Chun, as the city lord of Blackstone City, how shameless are you? You actually allowed a high god to defeat Longao. It seems like you really want to provoke my pill hall. Do you want me to report to the pill hall and tell them everything that happened here? If it was just Dongfang Tuing alone, Nangong Chun wouldn't be afraid. However, Han Yin's situation was a little different. Han Yin's position in the pill hall was very high. It was even rumored that Han Yin might be the daughter of the pill hall's hall master. If that was the case, once this matter was known by the pill hall, it would be equivalent to provoking the pill hall. Unless there was no other choice, Nangong Chun would never provoke the pill hall. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let go of Longao so easily when he had already trapped him. Nangong Chun's expression changed again and again. It was simply gloomy to the extreme. He stared at the three people in front of him and sneered, "Very good, very good. I will settle this debt with you. I hope you can leave the heavenly road alive. We will wait and see." Nangong Chun, I hope you won't disappoint me. Longao didn't have the slightest fear. So what if the other party was a master god? So what if he was the city lord of Blackstone City? Once he stepped into the heavenly road, it was really unknown who would survive. He even hoped to meet people from Blackstone City. Chapter 2942. He didn't care at all. Nangong Chun didn't want to make a fool of himself. He immediately turned around and left. Everyone's gaze towards Longao became more and more disdainful. A person who only relied on the pill hall stepped into the heavenly road. It was obvious what kind of consequences he would face. Longao, how powerful is your golden core realm? Han Yin and Dongfang Tuing were shocked. They never expected Longao's golden core realm to be so powerful. Previously, Longao fought against 6 and killed 6 superior gods from the city lord mansion. They still didn't know what happened. He smiled. Although I have comprehended the golden core realm, it's impossible for me to kill a superior god in one move. Then why? The reason why I was able to succeed just now was because the opponent was careless. He didn't take me seriously at all. Dongfang Tuing and Hani nodded in agreement. If the opponent wasn't careless, even they wouldn't be able to defeat him in one move without anyone noticing. Sister Han, Brother Dongfang, other than comprehending the golden core realm, I also have a divine ability, primordial spirit imprisonment. Towards the two people, Longao also did not have the slightest bit of concealment and spoke about the matter of him possessing the primordial spirit imprisonment. They were shocked. Of course, they knew what primordial spirit imprisonment meant. No wonder Longao could defeat the opponent in one move. He had such a powerful divine ability. Brother Long, with this divine ability alone, you're number one under the Overgod. The two of them were originally worried for Longao, but they did not expect that Longao actually possessed such a heaven-defying ability. Even if he entered the heavenly road, he could also travel unimpeded all the way. No one could match him. As for Nangong Chun and the Overgods, they couldn't enter the lower levels. Brother Long, even if you have the primordial spirit imprisonment divine ability, you can't let your guard down. The heavenly road is full of danger. Many people have died in the heavenly road itself. How could Longao not know what Sister Han was talking about? Sister Han, Brother Dongfang, you have to be careful too. Nangong Fengyun was already a peak divine king, so he couldn't step into heaven's road. However, in order to kill Longao, Nangong Fengyun didn't just send out many superior gods from the City Lord's mansion and the Domain Lord's mansion, he even contacted many Domain Lords. With Nangong Fengyun's status, he still had some face. On the other hand, Longao was just a mere mid-level deity. This was not a big deal to the domain chief's manners. Before entering Heaven's Road, Longao had already been targeted by countless people. Unknowingly, a month passed in the blink of an eye. The opening day had just arrived, and the entrance to Heaven's Road was already slowly opening. It was a huge white spatial gate. There was an uproar. No one hesitated and immediately rushed towards the white space gate. Each one of them was faster than the last, and their speed soared to the extreme. Everyone was very clear that being able to stand at the entrance did not mean that they would definitely be able to enter Heaven's Road. The majority of the people were unable to step into Heaven's Road. No matter what, the Heaven's Road would only open for a few hours. Once the hours passed, no one would be able to enter the Heaven's Road. Everyone became incomparably crazy. Before entering Heaven's Road, the battle had already begun. Longao and the other two entered Heaven's Road at the same time. There were two entrances to Heaven's Road. One was the lower-level entrance, and the other was the upper-level entrance. Dongfang Tuing and Hanin definitely went to the upper-level entrance, while Longao went to the lower-level entrance. Everyone in the Blackstone Heavenly region, regardless of whether they were mid-level deities or low-level deities, began to madly attack Longao. No one dared to go against Nangong Fengyun's secret order. Moreover, if they could successfully kill Longao, then in front of Nangong Fengyun, not only would they be able to obtain a great reward, but they would also be able to make the domain chief owe them a favor. Such a good thing. How could anyone not be willing to do it? With the Xian Yuan sword in hand, Longao did not show any mercy at all. The first sword of the 9 god-slaying swords was constantly swung. At this time, Longao did not show any mercy either. Anyway, in such a chaotic situation, even if he used his Jindan realm, no one would discover it. Facing low-level deities and mid-level deities, Longao basically killed them instantly. Anyone who came close to him would be killed by the sword chi in his hand. In such a situation, it was a complete massacre. Even facing high-level deities, Longao used both his Jindan realm and primordial spirit imprisonment to attack. The Xian Yuan sword in his hand was the most terrifying weapon. Wherever it passed, there was no one who could resist it. In just a few seconds, Longao had already killed thousands of warriors. What kind of concept was this? Looking at the entrance that was less than 10 meters wide, Longao was really depressed to the extreme. In front of the densely packed crowd, it was really a difficult thing to force his way through. If this was the case, then if he wanted to enter the space door and enter Heaven's Road, there would be no hope at all. He definitely could not miss this opportunity. Blackie, swallow it. He absolutely could not go on like this. According to Sister Han and Brother Dongfang, the time that Heaven's Road opened was uncertain. Sometimes it opened once every few years, and sometimes it opened once every few 100 million years. If he could not enter Heaven's Road this time, who knew how long he would have to wait to enter Heaven's Road again? In desperation, Longao could only use Blackie's power. A huge monster instantly appeared and opened a path for Longao. No matter who it was, it directly swallowed them, no matter if they were mid-level deities or high-level deities. It swallowed them all. What kind of divine beast is this? Quickly retreat. Seeing the huge monster swallowing everything, everyone was scared silly. Even if they wanted to enter Heaven's Road, they had to first protect their own lives. Otherwise, everything else would be nonsense. The surrounding people began to make way for Longao. In a short while, a path was opened for Longao. Delighted, Longao quickly walked out and disappeared from the entrance in the blink of an eye. Just as Longao and Blackie disappeared from the entrance, everyone was stunned for a full 3 minutes. Only then did they once again rush into the entrance. After 6 hours, the space door closed once more. Less than a third of the tens of millions of people were able to enter Heaven's Road. Those who were unable to enter Heaven's Road were all dejected. Those who were unable to enter Heaven's Road would have to wait until the next time it opened. Our luck is really bad this time. Who knows how long we'll have to wait for the next time Heaven's Road opens? It's all because of Longao. If he had not suddenly released a divine beast that could swallow martial artists, perhaps we would have already entered Heaven's Road. If he won't let us enter Heaven's Road, then I'll destroy his Dragon City. If you're not convinced, then let's go to Dragon City together. Let's go. We've been together for so many years. Destroying Dragon City is too easy. If he won't let us be happy, then we'll make him lose everything. Chapter 2943. Dragon City. A few days after the Heavenly Road was closed, tens of thousands of warriors gathered outside Dragon City. They were all furious because, in everyone's opinion, they couldn't enter the Heavenly Road because of Longao. If they didn't kill Longao, how could they face themselves? In everyone's opinion, not to mention tens of thousands of warriors joining forces, even 1% of them could easily destroy the entire Dragon City. Luo Qinghe, won all the pills of the Elixir Pavilion. Luo Qinghe was a peak superior god. He was the strongest warrior here because all the lords had entered the Heavenly Road. All of them despised each other to the extreme. One could imagine the value of the Elixir Pavilion's pills. To take them all for himself was simply arrogant to the extreme. Killing intent surged. Tens of thousands of warriors rushed towards Dragon City. Their faces were filled with anger, but more of them were filled with greed. Just when everyone thought that it would be easy to destroy Dragon City suddenly appeared. The situation suddenly changed. Dragon City suddenly released a layer of terrifying power that instantly enveloped the entire Dragon City. From afar, Dragon City seemed to be enveloped in a layer of white air. The 9 Revolutions Chaos Array, just what level of array formation was, even Longao himself did not know. Even though they knew that Dragon City was protected by a formation, no one took it seriously. Tens of thousands of warriors rushed into Dragon City. In just a few minutes, the tens of thousands of warriors had all disappeared without a trace. Dragon City was still Dragon City. After the tens of thousands of warriors entered the city, they didn't enter Dragon City as expected. Instead, they entered a boundless space. Is this a formation? F***CK. So, what if it's a formation? As long as it's not a level 4 formation, we have nothing to fear. The tens of thousands of warriors didn't take the formation seriously at all. Their eyes were filled with mockery. Previously, Longao had fought with a level 3 formation master. Therefore, everyone thought that Longao was only a level 3 formation master. A level 3 formation set up by a level 3 formation master wasn't enough to deal with tens of thousands of warriors. The result? Claps of thunder rang out. Countless lightning bolts struck down. Not only that, the surrounding air began to condense into puppets that began to wildly attack the tens of thousands of warriors. Longao was worried that the 9 Revolution Chaos formation he set up wouldn't be able to protect Dragon City. Therefore, in addition to the 9 revolution chaos formation, he also set up hundreds of level 4 formations. What did this mean? A level 4 formation master. At this moment, everyone recognized that the formation they were trapped in was not a level 3 formation at all, but a level 4 formation. Everyone was scared out of their wits. Many people recognized the seriousness of the matter. If they did not leave the array as soon as possible, there was only one result waiting for them, and that was to be obliterated by the array. It was easier said than done to break the formation and leave. Among the tens of thousands of martial artists, there must be an array master, but there was no 4th level array master. Even if it was a 3rd level array master, wanting to break through hundreds of 4th level array masters was like a fool's dream. It was almost impossible. Not to mention, Longao also arranged a 9 revolution chaos array in Dragon City. The array revolved and interlocked. People fell one after another. There was no way to shut down the formation in Dragon City. In other words, unless Longao personally returned to close the formation, otherwise, once the formation was opened, the formation would only close if everyone within the formation was killed. Setting up such a terrifying array formation, Longao did it just in case. Unless a powerful divine king like Nangong Fengyun came to break the formation, even a level 4 formation master would not be able to break through the 9 revolution chaos formation and hundreds of level 4 formations. As for Nangong Fengyun, Longao was sure that he would not come to break the formation. As the domain lord of the Blackstone Heavenly Region, Nangong Fengyun valued his reputation more than anything else. How could he casually attack Dragon City's formation? Other than his reputation, Nangong Fengyun was also afraid of the Pill Hall. In less than 2 hours, more than half of the 70,000 martial artists had been lost. If this continued, it would only take another 2 hours at most for all the remaining cultivators to perish. To be able to kill more than 70,000 warriors in just 4 hours was an impossible feat in itself. The second day, the news that 70,000 warriors were trapped in Dragon City's formation and were all killed had spread across the entire Blackstone Heavenly Region. Those who received the news were all shocked and could not believe it. Everyone knew that Old Ao was a level 3 formation master. However, they did not expect that the formation Long Ao had set up in Dragon City could kill 70,000 warriors. What kind of concept was that? Originally, many people wanted to seize the Elixir Pavilion when Long Ao and the other 2 were not in Dragon City. However, they did not expect Dragon City to have such a terrifying formation. Those who had such thoughts immediately gave up the idea. Blackstone City, Domain Lord's Manor. Since the loss of the 10,000-year Fire Lotus, Nangong Fengyun had been investigating who had touched the 10,000-year Fire Lotus. The 10,000-year Fire Lotus, which was about to mature, was lost due to his negligence. He regretted it very much, but in this case, it was too late to regret. Nangong Fengyun did not expect this when he received the news from Dragon City. His face was gloomy. He knew clearly that Dragon City's formation could kill 70,000 warriors. A simple level 3 formation would not be able to do that. Unless it was a level 4 formation and a very powerful level 4 formation master. Could it be that Long Ao was already a level 4 formation master? It should be impossible. How could Nangong Fengyun not know that Long Ao was a level 3 formation master? In such a short period of time, even if Long Ao was very talented in formations, it was impossible for him to become a level 4 formation master. In his opinion, Dragon City's level 4 formation should be related to the Pill Hall. The Pill Hall really valued Long Ao. Not only did they protect Long Ao to go against him, they even helped him to set up such a heaven-defying level 4 formation that could kill 70,000 warriors. Nangong Fengyun was very clear about the significance of such a formation. Putting aside the problem of his reputation, he couldn't even go to the Dragon City. Even if he disregarded his reputation and went to break the formation, he might end up losing the rice used to lure him. Level 4 Formation Master, or even Level 5 Formation Master. However, there were no such Formation Masters in the Blackstone Heavenly Region. he had to go to the middle heavenly region to find one. Thinking of this, Nangong Fengyan immediately left the Domain Lord's manor and went to the middle heavenly region to find a stronger formation master. Chapter 2944. Heaven's Road. No one knew how Heaven's Road appeared, but every time Heaven's Road opened, there was no time limit. Sometimes it would open once every few years. Sometimes it would not open even once in a few 100 million years. Once Heaven's Road opened, everyone in the Chaos Realm's 99 heaven domains would enter Heaven's Road. Heaven's Road was divided into 2 layers. Only Master Gods could enter the upper layer. The lower layer was for lower gods, middle gods, and high gods. Legends said, inside Heaven's Road, there were countless opportunities, but it was also filled with danger. Of everyone who entered, if even 1% of them could leave alive, it would be considered lucky. Longao had just stepped into the entrance, and in the blink of an eye, he had already entered Heaven's Road. The dark sky gave people a stifling feeling. Holding the Xianyuan sword, Xiao Chun had just landed on the heavenly road when he casually slashed out a few times. Sword chi crisscrossed, and streaks of sword chi quickly shot out, bringing with them a bloody mist. Third-rank spirit beast Nightwolf. He was startled. Longao naturally knew that Heaven's Road was filled with danger. Legend said that people who entered had to be on guard at all times. If they were not careful, they would lose their heads. Even so, Longao still did not expect that Heaven's Road's danger would be so terrifying. In front of him was a black mass. There were third-rank night wolves everywhere. At a glance, there were at least a few million of them. What kind of concept was this? Even if he did not fear third-rank spirit beasts, such a large number of night wolves would tire him to death. Ever since he entered Heaven's Road, Longao had already sensed that because of the rules of Heaven's Road, he could not enter Chaos Palace. In other words, he could only fight against countless third-rank night wolves. Holding Xianyuan's sword, he used the first move of the 9 god-slaying swords. Sword after sword, it was airtight. Longao's sword was as fast as lightning. Sword chi flew out, bringing with it a bloody mist. Even so, there were too many night wolves. It was impossible to kill them all. Big brother, let me help you. In order to deal with the dangers of Heaven's Road, Longao had already summoned Little Black. He had guessed that he could not enter Chaos Palace, and after entering Heaven's Road, it was true. Little Black was already a peak high god, and even had the swallowing heaven divine ability. Let's end this quickly. Blackie's figure flashed out like a bolt of lightning. It opened its mouth wide and began to devour the surrounding night wolves. If it were any other spirit beast, they would have fled in fright upon encountering such a terrifying heaven-devouring beast. However, the night wolves refused to leave even when they saw their tribesmen being devoured one by one. They were like moths to a flame. If this continued, even Little Black would not be able to withstand the attacks of thousands of night wolves. Heavenly Flame. Of course, Longao knew the severity of the situation. The burning heart flame lotus appeared in his right hand, and he started to throw it at the surrounding night wolves. There was no need to mention the strength of the mysterious flame, not to mention the burning heart flame lotus, which was ranked 7th. Its strength was not to be underestimated. Even so, the night wolves were still unwilling to leave. More and more night wolves rushed over from all directions. The night wolves that Longao and Blackie had killed were like a drop in the bucket to the enormous night wolf pack. This was not a solution at all. It absolutely could not go on like this. A flame suddenly appeared in Longao's palm. It was the first-ranked Primal Chaos Flame. Ever since he obtained the Primal Chaos Flame, Longao had never used it. He did not know how powerful it was. This was the first time he used it. The power of the Primal Chaos Flame was far above the burning heart flame lotus. The terrifying flame was like a flame king descending and directly enveloping all the night wolves. Little Black, let's go. The power of the Primal Chaos Flame was indeed stronger than the burning heart flame lotus. Even so, it was still unable to destroy all the night wolves. If this continued, he and Little Black would never be able to walk out of it. Just like this, under the constant attacks of the two heavenly flames, Longao brought Little Black to open a bloody path. What made him curious was why so many martial artists were sent into Heaven's Road, but he was the only one here. Where were the others? The only thing Longao was sure of was that Heaven's Road was boundless. Even if countless martial artists from the 99 heaven domains stepped into it, it was still not enough for Heaven's Road. After killing for a full 2 hours, Longao finally managed to carve out a bloody path.
Until now.
Longao finally knew why the night wolves were like moths to a flame. In the end, it was because of his bad luck. The place where he was sent into Heaven's Road just happened to be the territory of the night wolves. Therefore, they were not willing to lose their territory. The night wolves would definitely not be willing to take half a step back. Little Black's body could become bigger or smaller. The current Little Black was only the size of a palm. He sat quietly on Longao's shoulder. He seemed to be quite tired. Little Black, can you find the treasures in Heaven's Roads? Longao had already asked Dongfang Tuing and Han Yin about Heaven's Road. However, the two of them did not know how Heaven's Road appeared. Perhaps even God Emperors did not know. However, the two of them were very sure that Heaven's Road was full of opportunities and dangers. If one was lucky, one could obtain opportunities. If one was unlucky, one would face danger. Little Black nodded and said with a smile, "Big brother, don't worry. I can find the ordinary treasures in Heaven's Road for you. However, I have a feeling that there is something calling me in Heaven's Road. It seems to be related to my inheritance." Longao was very surprised. Of course, he knew what Xiaohe meant. If that was the case, then no matter what, he had to help Xiaohe obtain it. After all, Xiaohe's inheritance was no small matter. Just the devouring divine ability that he had inherited was already very heaven-defying. Xiaohe was only a pinnacle higher god, but he could forcefully devour beginner-level and mid-level lords. What did that mean? Little Black, can you sense where the thing calling you in Heaven's Road is? Big brother, we have just entered Heaven's Road. This thing seems to be very weak. I will try my best to sense it. Okay? In fact, Longao didn't say that even he himself also felt that there was a mysterious power summoning him. He didn't know if it was the same as Xiaohe's situation, but it didn't matter. He had to find this mysterious power to summon. Maybe it could help him improve his strength. The more he thought about it, the more excited he became. However, Longao did not act too hastily. He knew very well that they had just entered Heaven's Road. It was indeed not suitable for him to look for it now. He had to observe everything first. As for the current task, it was to find a way to find the people from Blackstone City's City Lord's Mansion and Domain Chief's Mansion. He had to kill them all and eliminate all future troubles. Chapter 2945. Ever since he comprehended the Golden Core Realm and had the primordial spirit shackle, Longao had full confidence that he could kill a superior god. Even if he couldn't kill a superior god, he still had Xiaohe, who could devour a master god. It could be said that lower level of Heaven's Road. Unless it was a crisis of Heaven's Road itself. As for the warriors from the 99 Heavens domain, Longao wasn't afraid at all. He would kill whoever came. Enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. Longao wanted to find the warriors from Blackrock City and the Domain Chief's Manor, but he didn't expect them to come first. There were more than 20 people, all of whom were superior gods. They were all superior gods and peak superior gods. The leader was a peak superior god named Scar. Scar was stunned when he saw Longao. Longao? Not only Scar, but the others were also delighted. Of course, they knew what it meant to kill Longao. Not to mention whether they could succeed, just the thought of getting the treasures on Longao made them excited. According to the rumors, Longao had a space artifact in his hands that even a god king couldn't break. In addition to the space artifact, he also had a strange flame. The more they thought about it, the more excited they became. Longao, you can't blame others for barging into hell when there's a path to heaven. More than 20 high gods joining forces to kill a puny god was something which could be accomplished in but a few minutes. After stepping into Heaven's Road, Scar and the others had already felt the suppression of the rules here. No matter who it was, they couldn't enter the space artifact. They were excited to the extreme. How could Longao not know what they were thinking? He smiled and said, "You want my space artifact and strange flame? Ha ha ha, you're really smart. Since you're so smart, we'll give you a chance. As long as you hand over the space artifact and strange flame, we'll consider leaving your corpse intact. With just you." Before Scar and the others could speak, Longao said again, "If you kneel down and beg for mercy, maybe I'll spare your lives." Spare our lives? Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Hearing Longao's words, the 20 or so people all laughed out loud. Their laughter was filled with endless ridicule and contempt, as if they had heard the funniest thing in the world. A god actually dared to say that he would spare their lives? However, it must be known that there was not a single mid-level high god amongst the 20 or so of them. All of them were high-level high gods and peak high gods. That was especially so for him, who was half a step away from becoming an over-god. Currently, Scar had already comprehended a portion of the power of space. If he could comprehend 30% of spatial power, he would have truly broken through to beginner-level lord level. Lords were divided into beginner lords, intermediate lords, advanced lords, and pinnacle lords. Primary level lords comprehended 30% of spatial power, mid-level lords comprehended 60% of spatial power, high-level lords comprehended 90% of spatial power, and pinnacle lords comprehended 10% of spatial power. Once one truly grasped the power of space, one would truly become a god king. He had comprehended a fraction of spatial strength and was now a half-step lord. What kind of concept was that? From the 20 or so people's point of view, Longao would not be able to fight against any one of them, let alone if they were to join forces. Longao, I have to admit that you're really arrogant. If it weren't for the pill hall favoring you, do you think you'd be able to live until now? Ignorance killed the cat. Longao really suspected that the 20 or so people in front of him were blinded by the treasures. However, after giving it some thought, he understood. Even those who had seen him fight against Nangong Fengyun and Nangong Chun with their own eyes would not believe that he could fight against lords and god kings. That was the only explanation. It was only because he had the pill hall behind him. Otherwise, he would have been at the mercy of others. Brother Scar, why are you talking so much nonsense with him? After we kill him, we'll bring his corpse back to the Black Rock City and hand it over to the Dominator and the city governor. When the time comes, Longao laughed and said, "Do you believe that even if I don't do anything, all of you will end up in a tragedy? None of you will be able to leave this place alive."
Ha ha ha.
Motherf asterisk cur. You're really shameless. I'm standing here today. I'd like to see if you can kill me without doing anything. The 20 or so people, including Scar, were furious. They had seen arrogant people before, but they had never seen someone as arrogant as Lin Fan. "Xiaohei, how long will it take?" Xiaohei sneered and said in disdain, "Not even half a minute." Insult. It was a blatant insult. Of course, Scar and the others knew what Longao and the spiritual beasts were talking about. He said that he would not even need half a minute to kill 20 or so of them. No one would believe that, let alone them.
Me.
Xiaohei was furious and roared angrily, "Today, I'll show you my swallowing heaven divine power."
Ha ha ha.
Xiaohei's body left Longao's body and rushed towards the 20 or so people. Under the shocked eyes of the crowd, Xiaohei's body grew bigger and bigger. In just a few seconds, it had become a huge monster. It was very terrifying.
Kill him.
Scar did not know what was wrong with him. He was actually afraid. He must be overthinking. A spiritual beast that was only a superior god, even if it had some ability, could not be a match for them. It was just that Longao was too confident. Could it be that Longao really thought that this spiritual beast could kill 20 or so of them? It was complete nonsense. If he believed it, he would be a fool. Dao Ba and the others did not sit still and wait for death. Everyone already understood that the reason why Longao was so arrogant was completely because of the colossus in front of them. Otherwise, Longao alone would not dare to be so arrogant. If they killed this spiritual beast, then Longao would be meat on the chopping board, ready to be slaughtered. The 20 or so people began to attack Xiaohe wildly. However, Xiaohe ignored them completely. Although it was only a superior god, its defense could not even break through a lord's, let alone the 20 or so people before it. It could choose to ignore them directly. I'll show you my swallowing heaven divine power. Ha ha ha. Xiaohe suddenly opened its mouth and began to devour the 20 or so people before it. The swallowing heaven divine power could even devour a mid-level lord, let alone these 20 or so people before it. It was a piece of cake. Run. Motherf asterisk cur. I beg you, don't devour me. I can choose to submit. I'm willing to be a dog. I'm willing to be a dog too. Chapter 2946. Become a dog? Blackie swallowed one of them and turned to look at Longao. He laughed and said, "Big brother, they're willing to be dogs. Don't you think so?" Blackie's meaning was very clear. Humiliation. It was a great humiliation. As superior gods, especially Scar, who was a half-step lord, they were usually high and mighty. How many people would have thought that these people, who were usually high and mighty, would say something like this at a time like this? Pride and life could not be compared at all. Haha, become a dog. Sorry, I don't need dogs like you. Blackie, don't waste time.
Devour. Okay.
Blackie did not dare to be unreasonable. He opened his mouth and activated his devouring divine power, beginning to devour by force. One had to admit that Blackie's devouring divine power was indeed incredible. No matter what kind of martial artist it devoured, there would be no aftereffects. In just a few minutes, the 20 or so superior gods were all devoured, leaving only Scarface. Looking at the empty space in front of him, not even a single person was left. Scar was scared out of his wits. It was his first time seeing such an incredible spiritual beast. He forcefully swallowed his saliva. "My lord, I was blind just now. Please spare my life." At this moment, Scar could no longer care about anything else. Even if the other party was an ordinary person, he would have to beg for mercy at this time, let alone a superior god. The reason Blackie did not devour Scar was Longao's idea. "Are you from Blackrock City's city governor's mansion, or the domain chief's mansion?" Now that things had come to this, Scar did not dare to continue being arrogant. He said carefully, "I'm from the city governor's mansion, but I have nothing to do with it. From now on, I'm just Sir's dog." City governor's mansion? How many people have come from Blackrock City this time? About 100 superior gods. They're all here. At this point, Scar did not continue. However, the meaning of his words was very clear. It had to be said that Nangong Fengyun and Nangong Chen had put in a lot of effort to deal with Longao. They had sent out more than 100 superior gods. But you have to know, the 100-odd people that Blackrock City had sent this time were all powerful high gods. For example, Scar was a half-step lord. Nangong Chen felt that a powerful team like this would definitely be able to kill Longao without a hitch. But what was the result? It was just a single exchange. Out of the hundreds of people in Blackrock City, they had already lost more than 20 people. What kind of concept was this? If Nangong Chen and Nangong Feng knew about this, they would be heartbroken. Among all of you, who is the strongest? Boss Shen has comprehended 20% of the power of space. He's only a sliver away from officially becoming a lord. Dao Ba had comprehended 1 portion of space, while Boss Shen had comprehended 2 portions of space. Although it was only 1 portion more, Longao was very clear about how big the difference was. He sneered in his heart. Since Blackrock City was so willing, then don't blame him for being impolite. Before entering the Heavenly Road, Longao had already decided that he had to kill everyone in Blackrock City. This was also the real reason why Longao didn't kill Scar. You have a way to contact them?
Yes.
Longao didn't ask how he could contact them. He smiled and said, "Now, I'll have to trouble you to summon everyone in Blackrock City. Also, spread the word that I have a strange flame, a spatial artifact, and many heaven-defying treasures."
Ah?
This. Scar was completely dumbfounded. He didn't think that Lin Fan would ask him to do this. Without knowing what Lin Fan meant, Scar didn't dare to act rashly. He knew very well that if news of this spread, Lin Fan would definitely die. How could Longao not know what Scar was thinking? He said coldly, "Do what I say. Don't ask about anything else. Otherwise, you should be able to imagine the consequences." After confirming that Lin Fan wasn't joking, Scar was about to get up and contact them. However, at this moment, Longao suddenly made a move and placed several restrictions on Scar's body. Scar didn't need to ask to know what Lin Fan had done to him. He was furious. If it weren't for his fear of Lin Fan's spiritual beast, he would have attacked long ago. How could he have endured until now? After Scar left, Longao immediately began to set up the formation. No matter who came, they could easily destroy a level for formation. Originally, Lin Fan wanted to use Xiaohei's devouring the heavens divine ability. However, if Xiaohei continued to devour like this, no one could guarantee that Xiaohei would be fine. Lin Fan didn't dare to take the risk. He could only let Xiaohei listen first. "Big brother, no matter who it is, as long as it's not a high-level lord, I can still devour them. Why do you have to go through so much trouble to set up a level for formation?" Xiaohei was very curious. He didn't know what Lin Fan was trying to do. "Xiaohei, I know that your devouring the heavens divine ability is extremely powerful. However, I can't be sure that you won't suffer a backlash from devouring so many warriors. It's better to be safe than sorry. What if something happens to you?" Longao did not continue speaking. However, the meaning behind his words was very clear. Xiaohei seemed to want to say something, but in the end, he swallowed his words. His eyes were filled with gratitude and gratitude. Initially, Scar wanted to seize the opportunity to leave. However, he had not expected Longao to place a restriction on him. If he tried to leave by force, he would probably die a horrible death. Left with no other choice, he could only follow Longao's instructions and send a message as soon as possible. He also began to summon his companions. In less than 3 days, Boss Shun rushed over with more than 80 people. Apart from training, their most important goal in entering the Heavenly Road this time was to kill Longao. Upon hearing Scar's summons, Boss Shin had already gathered everyone together and was making their way over. Among the 80 or so high gods, there were dozens of half-step lords. As for Boss Shin, he had even comprehended two-dimensional space. His ability was the best among everyone below the level of lords. If they still couldn't kill Longao, then the heavens would not let Longao go. "Scar, where are your men?" Scar looked helpless as he said, "Longao is a level 3 formation master. The formation he set up killed my subordinates. Left with no other choice, I could only summon Boss Shin to deal with Longao personally. Otherwise, Boss Shin waved his hand and snorted heavily. Without waiting for Scar to continue, he continued, "You lost more than 20 high gods for a mere middle-level god. I'd like to see how you're going to explain this to the governor and the territorial governor when we leave the Heavenly Road." Chapter 2947. Damn it. Scar cursed in his heart. He didn't even know what was going on with his life. How was he going to explain to Blackrock City? Scar looked fearful and said helplessly, "I'm sorry for my incompetence. Please help me, Boss Shin." That was what he wanted. Boss Shin laughed and said, "Very well. As long as you follow me from now on, I promise you'll be fine." "Thank you, Boss Shin. Do you know where Longao is?" "Yes, Boss Shin. Follow me." From the beginning to the end, Boss Shin never thought that Scar would betray him. Betraying him was equivalent to betraying the Blackrock City Governor's mansion and the Domain Chief's mansion. Even a Divine King expert wouldn't dare to do that, let alone Scar. Not only Boss Shin and the others, but Scar had spread rumors that Longao not only had a space artifact and a strange flame, but also had various treasures. Many people were heading towards Longao's location. There were at least hundreds of superior gods. What did that mean? Hundreds of high gods, no matter who they were, would be able to easily deal with them. Level 4 array formation. Longao had set up a total of 9 level 4 array formations. The 9 level 4 formations were linked. As long as one formation was activated, all 9 formations would be activated. Longao had set up 9 formations. Unless one could break all 9 formations at the same time, it would be useless to break any one of them. 9 serial killing formation. Boss Shin, we're here. Scar didn't need to say anything. Boss Shin had already seen the figure standing in the distance. It was none other than the person that Blackrock City wanted to kill, Longao. He sped up and arrived in the blink of an eye. Longao, I have to admit that you're really arrogant. You didn't run away when you met us. Boss Shin wasn't the only one. The 80 superior gods of Blackrock City were all curious. They didn't know why Longao was so arrogant and dared to stay here. Scar, you've completed your task. Why don't you get your ass over here? Dogs should be obedient. Dogs should be obedient. Hearing Longao's words, Scar's face instantly turned gloomy, but he didn't dare to say anything. Scar was completely dumbfounded. He had thought that when the two sides fought, no matter who won, or at best, both sides would suffer heavy losses, he would be able to reap the benefits.
But now?
Longao didn't give him any chance at all. How could he not be angry? Boss Shin and the others all looked at Scar. Their intentions were clear. How should he choose? On one side was Longao, and on the other was Boss Shin. Even though Scar had seen the power of Longao's spirit beasts with his own eyes, he wasn't sure who would win if they started fighting. Boss Shin knew very well that if he made the wrong choice, he would be consigned to eternal damnation. What to do? It was a difficult choice. The more Dao Ba acted like this, the more curious Boss Shin became. Did Dao Ba really betray him and Blackrock City? If that was the case, Scar, do you have any? Of course, Scar knew what Boss Shin meant. He had to make a choice as soon as possible. Otherwise, he might end up dying a horrible death if he failed to please both sides. He gritted his teeth. Boss Shin, I'm Boss Long's dog now. Ha 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 ha. Longao guffawed. He did not say anything at all. However, this was more humiliating than anything else. A mighty half-step Lord-level martial artist had actually admitted to being Longao's lackey in front of everyone. Scar, do you know what the consequences of what you're doing now will be? Boss Shin's expression was equally terrible. He had never thought that Scar would betray him, the city governor's residence, and the territorial master's residence. Could Scar and Longao have done this on purpose? If that was the case, why would they do this? Could it be that they were just trying to trick him and the others into coming here? Not only was he a half-step lord who had comprehended two-dimensional space, but there were also over 80 high gods behind him. There were even dozens of half-step lords among them. Even if Scar had succeeded in tricking him into coming here, he would not be able to gain anything. He might even lose his life. Now, he had a bad feeling about this. Ha ha ha, I'm Boss Long's man now. What T city governor's residence and territorial master's residence have nothing to do with me. Old Dog Shin, do you think you'll be able to leave this place alive? Everyone burst into laughter. Dao Ba, who do you think Longao is? Not to mention Boss Shin. Even this meow can easily kill him. That's right. Don't think that you can throw your weight around just because you've sided with this piece of trash. When we kill Longao, we'll tear you to pieces. It would be a lie to say that he was not afraid. Scar had placed all his bets on Longao. If Longao lost, not only would Longao's head be separated from his body, but Scar would also be torn apart. Just as Scar was about to say something, Longao suddenly turned around. His voice drifted over. Scar, although you're my dog now, there seems to be something between you and them that hasn't been resolved. I'll wait for you inside. Come in and look for me when you're done. Boss Long, You can't kick me to the curb after I've outlived my usefulness. Before Knife Scar could finish his words, the people around him had already swarmed over. 2 fists were no match for 4 hands. In just a few minutes, Knife Scar had died tragically under the siege of the crowd. Looking at the corpse on the ground, Boss Shin did not care at all. He believed that the domain chief's mansion would not blame him even if he killed such a traitor. As for Longao, for some reason, Boss Shin had a bad feeling about this. Boss Shin, are we not going to do anything? How could Boss Shin not know what the people behind him were thinking? Even though he knew that Longao was doing this on purpose, he had to do something. Otherwise, not only would he not be able to explain himself to the territorial master's residence when he returned to Blackrock City, many people might be dissatisfied with him now. Even though he knew that there was danger ahead, he had to go ahead and kill Longao. You must be Boss Shin. Since you're here, why don't you come in? Are you afraid of my formation? Everyone knew that Longao was a level 3 formation master. He had even killed a level 3 formation master earlier. If he were a level 4 formation master, they would have turned around and left. They definitely would not have dared to step into the formation because a level 4 formation was enough to kill them. However, it was only a level 3 formation. There were more than 80 superior gods and dozens of half-step lords. It was impossible for a half-step lord like Boss Shen, who had comprehended two-dimensional space, to trap them. Longao was being too arrogant. Someone could not take it anymore. He immediately stepped forward and cursed before attacking Longao directly. Chapter 2948. Looking at the people behind him, more and more of them were charging toward Longao in a frenzy. Boss Shin already knew that he had to do something, whether he was willing or not. Longao was only a level 3 formation master.
There was no way he could trap them.
If he did not even dare to do something like this, he would despise himself, let alone the others. More than 80 higher gods entered the formation in a frenzy. To everyone, Longao was still a level 3 formation master. After thinking about it, they understood. Whether it was an elixir rune master or a formation master, the difficulty of breaking through to the next level far surpassed that of breaking through to the next level as a martial artist. How long had it been since Longao's battle in Blackrock City? Back then, Longao had only been a level 3 formation master. How could he have advanced to a level 4 formation master in such a short time? The 9 Suns Chain Killer Formation. As soon as they entered the formation, they sensed a murderous aura. The air currents around them were like sharp swords. No, this isn't a level 3 formation. It's a level 4 formation. Upon hearing that, everyone's expressions changed abruptly. Including Boss Shen, of course, they knew what a level 4 formation meant. The difference between a level 3 formation and a level 4 formation was too great. A level 3 formation might not be able to kill them, but a level 4 formation definitely had the ability to do so. Everyone's expressions were extremely ugly. At this moment, everyone finally knew why Longao was so fearless. It turned out that he had something to rely on. Otherwise, he would not have dared to be so arrogant. Boss Shen, I wonder how powerful my 9 Suns Chain Killer Formation is? The attacks around them had all disappeared. Everyone heaved a long sigh of relief. Even a half-step lord would not be able to withstand such a terrifying attack, let alone others. Longao, what do you want? Boss Shin suppressed the murderous intent within him. Otherwise, if he really had no other choice, he would have killed Lin Huang long ago. Haha, Boss Shin, are you out of your mind? If I'm not mistaken, the most important reason you entered Heavenly Road this time is to kill me. Why are you asking me that now? What do you want? The people behind Boss Shen were extremely furious. They were higher gods and Lin Huang was only a mere middle-level god. If not for the fact that he had a level 4 formation, he would not have dared to do so. A fallen tiger would be bullied by dogs. Actually, in everyone's hearts, they still did not place this array formation in their eyes. Although a formation master of the 4th rank was formidable, Longao was only a god. If Longao was a high god, then it would be a different story altogether. How could Longao not know what everyone was thinking in their hearts? He sneered. Since the other party wanted to court death, how could he not fulfill his wish? He turned around and disappeared. Just as Longao's figure disappeared, the Nine Suns chain killing array was activated once again. The surrounding air currents once again condensed into sharp swords, and the countless sharp swords in the surroundings began attacking in a frenzy. Wave after wave, there was no gap at all. Crack, crack, crack. Miserable shrieks rang out one after another as more than 80 high gods fell one after another. If this situation continued, it would take no more than 10 minutes for the remaining high gods to be killed. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't afraid. Boss Shin was completely shocked. He never thought that the other party was not only a level 4 array master, but also that the level 4 array he set up was so heaven-defying. Longao, if there is anything we can discuss it, we can. Before Boss Shin could finish speaking, Longao's voice was heard. It's too late now. I don't need dogs like you by my side.
Haha.
Longao was very confident in the Nine Suns chain killing array that he had set up. Forget about ordinary half-step lords, even a true lord who had comprehended 1/3 of space could be killed by it. Tens of minutes later, Longao stretched his back vigorously. He had successfully killed all the high gods in the city governor's residence and the territorial master's residence. This could be considered as solving a problem for good. If he counted carefully, he had killed a total of more than 100 high gods this time. Even for Blackrock City, this was an existence that could not be lost. He had just finished off Boss Shin and the others. Longao could clearly sense that the sound of footsteps came from all around again. In a short while, many superior gods, including mid-level gods, appeared one after another. There was no need to guess at all. He already knew what was going on. That's Longao. Kill him quickly. He has a spatial divine weapon on him, as well as exotic flames and other treasures. Everyone was envious. Whether it was a spatial divine weapon, exotic flames, or other treasures, the temptation was irresistible. Longao appeared to be in fear and trepidation. He immediately turned around and dashed away, deliberately slowing down. From beginning to end, nobody paid any attention to Longao at all. Several hundred people chased after Longao. The Nine Suns chain killing array could not be seen from the outside at all, unless one was a array master. However, none of the several hundred people was a array master. All of them chased after Lin Huang in a frenzy. Tens of minutes later, the several hundred people had all entered the array. The outcome was predictable. The more people that came, the better. Longao did not show any mercy at all. The previous 80 high gods and now the several hundred warriors were all devoured. He immediately began to cultivate. This time, Longao devoured the power of so many warriors. He wanted to use this power to break through his current realm. Ever since he stepped into the chaotic realm, Longao already knew that if one did not have strength, it would be difficult to move around in the chaotic realm. If it was not for the Pill Hall protecting him, he might not be able to deal with the City Lord Mansion and Domain Lord Mansion of the Blackrock City. Even if the Pill Hall protected him, it was not a long-term solution. Moreover, no one knew when their family members would be transported to the chaotic realm. The Pill Hall was willing to fall out with the Blackrock City for him. Would they do the same for others? Longao did not dare to take the risk. He could not take the risk because he could not afford to lose. Therefore, he had to increase his strength as soon as possible, even if he had to devour the power of other warriors forcefully. His cultivation had already broken through to the peak of the Middle God realm. He only needed one more step to become a high god. For other warriors, it was very difficult to break through from the Middle God realm to the High God realm. There were countless warriors who could not break through in their lifetime. The biggest reason was that they could not use the golden core in their body to form the so-called golden core realm. However, Longao's situation was completely different. He had not broken through to the High God realm. When he was only a middle god, he had already comprehended the golden core realm. Therefore, with such a huge power as the foundation, if he still could not break through to the high god realm, he could just kill himself. Longao was very confident that he could successfully break through to the high god realm. He immediately sat down cross-legged and began to cultivate quietly. Chapter 2949. Success came naturally. Longao had already comprehended the Jindan domain, so after devouring the energy of so many warriors, in just a few short hours, he had smoothly broken through from the peak of the demigod stage to the beginner stage of the high god stage. Continuous breakthroughs. Beginner stage of the high god stage. Mid-stage of the high god stage. Only when he reached the high stage of the high god stage did he stop. Then he stood up and stretched his body. His face was filled with joy, because Longao knew very well what breaking through to the high stage of the high god stage meant. If he could continue to devour, then breaking through to the peak of the high god stage wouldn't be too difficult. But breaking through to the sovereign stage wasn't so easy. Big brother, you've devoured so many warriors' energy to break through. Will you suffer a backlash? Little Black was very worried. How could Longao not know what Little Black was thinking? There shouldn't be any problems. Right, Little Black? We've already resolved the problem of Blackrock City. Apart from constantly increasing our strength, we also need to find the power that summoned us.
All right.
Little Black was already impatient. He could clearly sense that the mysterious voice that summoned him would definitely be of great help to him. The lower levels of the Heavenly Road were incomparably boundless. Even Longao and Little Black's primordial souls couldn't cover a very large area. They could only wander around like headless flies, going wherever they went. Big brother, later on, if we find the mysterious voice that summoned us, can we go to the upper levels of the Heavenly Road to take a look? You want to go? The Heavenly Road was divided into 2 levels. Only sovereigns could enter the upper levels. Both Little Black and Longao were high gods. They hadn't truly broken through to the sovereign stage. Thus, under normal circumstances, the 2 of them weren't qualified to enter the upper levels of the Heavenly Road.
Right.
I want to go to the upper levels of the Heavenly Road. Longao was very curious. He didn't know what Little Black meant. Big brother, I don't know why, but I keep having the feeling that not only the lower levels of the Heavenly Road, but even the upper levels of the Heavenly Road have the power that I need. So that's how it is. Little Black, I trust you know that the upper levels of the Heavenly Road have power restrictions. You and I are both high gods. It seems that we can't enter the upper levels of the Heavenly Road. Little Black laughed helplessly. Big brother, when the time comes, let's try. As for whether or not we can enter, it's up to our luck. All right. Longao did not have the slightest objection. In any case, it did not take much effort. If he and Xiaohei were lucky, they would be able to smoothly step into the upper levels of Heaven's Road. Be careful. The 2 of them walked for several hours. A gray space appeared in front of him. At a glance, he couldn't see anything at all. Blackie, did the mysterious power that summoned you come from here? Indeed. Longao was overjoyed, but the mysterious power that summoned him was not here. His expression was grave. For some reason, Longao felt that there was an unknown danger in the gray space in front of him. Despite knowing that there are tigers on the mountain, one still goes up the mountain. Longao was very clear in his heart that the mysterious power that could summon Blackie was definitely not ordinary. Otherwise, Blackie would not have been summoned by this mysterious power as soon as he stepped into the Heavenly Road. Just think about it, and you know what that means. He could not let Xiaohei lose this opportunity. Blackie, let's go. Big brother, you don't have to go in with me. I can sense that the space in front of me is not dangerous to me, but to others. Blackie did not continue speaking, but the meaning in his words was very clear. Longao seemed to want to say something, but before he could, Blackie continued, Big brother, you don't have to worry about me. As long as we're in Heaven's Road, we can contact each other. I'll go in and see what this mysterious power is. I'll look for you later. If it was dangerous, Longao would definitely not retreat in the slightest. But now, the situation was somewhat different. Longao nodded and said, Blackie, if you encounter something that you can't solve, immediately summon me. Understood. It's not like you haven't seen my speed. Moreover, in the lower levels of Heaven's Road, I'm afraid that no one is a match for my devouring heaven divine power. Big brother, you don't have to worry. Okay? Just as he finished speaking, Blackie's body disappeared with a whoosh. In the blink of an eye, he had entered the gray space in front of him. He let out a deep sigh. Longao was still very confident in Little Black. What Little Black said just now was right. With his speed and devouring heaven divine ability, unless he encountered a great danger, Little Black should be fine. Blackie had already found the mysterious power that summoned him. He had to find it as soon as possible. Once he was done with this, he would head to the entrance and see if he could go to the upper levels of Heaven's Road. The Heaven's Road was divided into 2 levels. According to Sister Han and Dongfang, there were entrances between the lower levels and the upper levels of Heaven's Road. However, regardless of whether it was the cultivators on the lower levels or the overgods on the upper levels, they were unable to enter the other levels. After leaving, Longao did not immediately search for the mysterious power. Instead, he stood where he was and quietly released his soul. He wanted to see where the mysterious power that summoned him came from. It's too weak. It's really impossible to find such a weak, mysterious power. Longao sighed helplessly. Ever since he stepped onto Heaven's Road, whether it was at the beginning or now, the mysterious power that summoned him seemed to be very weak. He was unable to lock onto its exact location with just the summoning. He could not go on like this. After all, he could not stay in Heaven's Road forever. Cousin, what is this person doing? Not far away, 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman, walked over. Looking at the figure of the young man who was standing there quietly, the 3 of them were very curious. The moment the 3 of them appeared, Longao had already sensed their aura. He opened his eyes, but the 3 of them had already arrived in the blink of an eye.
Who are you?
Which heaven region are you from? They looked down on him. Longao frowned slightly. He snorted coldly and chose to ignore them. He turned around and quickly left. Seeing this, the 3 of them became furious. Lubo almost could not hold back. He said furiously, Who do you think you are? How dare you not answer my question and offend my Lu family? Before he could finish speaking, Longao suddenly stopped. He turned around and coldly stared at the 3 of them. He said, And who are you? Do I know you? What shitty Lu family? Don't try to act cool in front of me. They were completely enraged. As members of the Lu family, the 3 of them had never encountered something like this. They were usually high and mighty, so when had anyone ever dared to talk back to them? Chapter 2950. The other party was just a high-level god, while the 3 of them were peak-level gods. The 3 of them couldn't figure out where the other party got his courage from. Lu Rulin stopped the 2 cousins and said with a smile, I am Lu Rulin. These 2 are my cousins Lu Bo and Lu Chong. We are from the Lu family of the Thunder Heavenly Region. Heavenly Region? So the 3 of them were from the Heavenly Region. Longao was a little surprised. The Chaos Realm was divided into 99 heavenly regions. The lower 33 heavenly regions couldn't be compared to the upper 33 heavenly regions. The 3 of them were peak-level gods. If they met other people, they wouldn't even dare to offend them. What does it have to do with me where you are from? The more Longao acted like this, the less confident the 3 of them were. They had seen arrogant people before, but they had never seen such arrogant people. Under normal circumstances, if the 3 of them reported their heavenly region and family, everyone would give them some face. But now, the other party didn't even care about the 3 of them. What was going on? Was the heavenly region no longer useful? Was the Lu family no longer a threat? Brother, my cousin's tone was a little bad. Please don't take offense. May I know how to address you? One wouldn't hit a smiling person. Longao really didn't like people like this. Relying on their backing, they acted high and mighty wherever they went. Others might be afraid, but he wasn't. After killing hundreds of high-level gods, if the other party was looking for trouble, he didn't mind killing the three of them. Longao, from the Blackstone Heavenly Region, *CK Lu Bo and Lu Chong cursed in their hearts. They thought the other party was something great, but it turned out that he was just a warrior from the lower heaven region. Warriors from the upper heaven region always looked down on warriors from the lower heaven region. Thinking of this, Lu Chong snorted and said mockingly, "I thought you had something to rely on. So you are from the lower heaven region." Longao, your Blackstone Heavenly Region Lord is trash in our Lu family. The Blackstone Heavenly Region Lord was nothing in the Lu family. After all, the Lu family was able to stand in the Thunder Heavenly Region for countless years. Other than their own strength, they also had several god emperors. Nangong Fengyan? Ha ha ha, that's right. The two of them thought that Yichen was scared. After all, even the leader of the Blackstone Heavenly Region didn't dare to act recklessly in front of the Lu clan, not to mention a weak cultivator from the Blackstone Heavenly Region. It was complete nonsense. Lu Rulan's expression was very ugly. Her two cousins were always like this. If this continued, they would suffer losses sooner or later. Before Lu Rulan could speak, Longao had already snorted coldly. Who does Nangong Fengyan think he is?
Huh.
Hearing the other party's words, not to mention the two of them, even Lu Rulan was a little shocked. She never thought that this person would actually dare to insult her domain master.
You could say that.
The domain master was the ruler of a heaven domain. Although he was not the most powerful existence, his status was still there. Could it be that he was not from the Blackstone Heavenly Region? You'd better scram, or else. What else do you want? What can you do? Lu Chong and Lu Bo didn't care about the other party at all. He was just a superior god from a lower heaven domain. Moreover, there were three of them. Any one of them could easily deal with him. If it weren't for their cousin, they would have already attacked. They wouldn't have waited until now. Suppressing the anger in their hearts, Lu Chong and Lu Bo were communicating with their spiritual awareness. This time, the Lu clan had already told them that no matter what happened, they had to listen to their cousin. Originally, there were dozens of people from the Lu clan who entered this time. Some of them didn't contact each other, some died. Anyway, only the three of them were left. "Brother Long, my two cousins didn't mean that." Before Lu Rulan could finish, the two beside her had already stepped out. The two of them had already discussed. Even if they would lose face, they would work together to kill the other party quickly. Whoever dared to offend the Lu clan dared to offend the two of them. Even if the other party died 10,000 times, it wouldn't be too much. Longao's face instantly turned gloomy. He didn't want to attack at first. After all, Lu Ruai was a nice person. However, the two beside her were extremely annoying. If they didn't offend him, he wouldn't offend them. Longao didn't want to cause trouble, but he wasn't afraid of it either. Both of them were pinnacle superior gods. They didn't care about a superior god at all. Lu Ruai was anxious, but it was too late. "Brother Long, please have mercy." Hearing their cousin's words, both Lu Bo and Lu Chong were completely enraged. They were both pinnacle superior gods, but their cousin thought that they couldn't defeat the other party even if they worked together. It was a humiliation, a great humiliation. He couldn't be bothered to attack. Now that he had successfully broken through to a superior god, fighting a pinnacle superior god would be a piece of cake. In order to end the battle quickly, Longao directly used the confinement of the primordial spirit. The two of them, who were full of confidence, suddenly turned pale. They were shocked to find that their primordial spirits were forcibly confined. What was going on? At this moment, the two of them finally knew why the other party was so arrogant and didn't care about them at all. It turned out that the other party's strength was far above theirs. Just the confinement of the primordial spirit could easily destroy them. Lu Ruoyan also realized that something was wrong. She anxiously said, "Brother Long, please have mercy." In this trip to Heaven's Road, the family had already suffered great losses. The remaining two cousins couldn't attack, no matter what. Longao did not intend to kill the two of them in the first place. Lu Rulin was a good person. Even a big dog had to look at its owner. He just wanted to teach the two of them a lesson. With a cold snort, the two of them retreated even faster. Their bodies flew out and smashed into the ground, creating two deep pits. They climbed up from the ground with difficulty. Their faces were filled with fear. They were both pinnacle superior gods, but they couldn't even withstand a single attack from the other party. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they would have found it hard to believe. Lu Rulin wasn't surprised. The other party dared to be so arrogant and didn't even care about the domain lord of the Blackstone Heavenly region. Obviously, he had a grudge against the Blackstone city. If such a person didn't have some skills, he would have run away when he saw the three of them. Only this person didn't run away. He didn't even care about the three of them. What was going on? His two cousins were too reckless. People like them could only be befriended, but they could not be dealt with by force. Just thinking about it made him scared. If the other party really wanted to kill the two of them, even he would not be able to do anything. Thank you for showing mercy, Brother Long. Chapter 2951. Take care of your dogs. Otherwise, they won't be so lucky next time. Turning around, he disappeared without a trace in the blink of an eye. Looking at the gradually disappearing figure, Lu Rulin sighed deeply. As for Lu Chong and Lu Bo, both of their faces were grim. They did not feel the slightest bit of gratitude for letting them off. Instead, they were filled with killing intent. Wait till you head over to the Thunder, Heavenly region. I'll let you know the strength of the Lu family. I must kill them. Longao was extremely frustrated in his heart. To think that he would be bitten by two dogs out of nowhere. What dogsh *T Thunder, Heavenly region, Lu family. Be it the lower or upper Heavenly region, they had nothing to do with him at all. Longao did not choose to give up. After all, the mysterious power that was summoning him was still so weak. Given the current situation, he would definitely not be able to lock onto the exact location of the mysterious power. This was not the way to go on. What should he do? Right at this moment, Longao's face changed. In his shock, he did not dare to be careless as he bolted towards the southeast direction. His speed was at an extreme. Lad, stop. If you stop again, I'll kill you without mercy. Scram.
Kill.
Longao's speed was extremely fast. He chose to ignore everyone he met along the way. Be it low-level upper gods, middle-level upper gods, or even high-level upper gods, as long as they dared to stand in his way, he would kill them without mercy.
Boom, 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 boom.
A single punch killed a upper god pinnacle level upper god. Everyone who caught sight of this was shocked. They had seen strong people before, but this was the first time they had seen someone this strong. He had arrived. Looking at the gigantic valley before him, Longao could clearly sense that the mysterious power that was summoning him was within the valley. At this moment, the valley was filled with people. Looking over, there were tens of thousands of them. Seemed like he was not the only one. Many people thought that there was a treasure within the valley. Cough, cough. After our discussion with a family from the upper heavenly region, we realized that if we want to enter the valley, we have to attack the formation on all 9 stone platforms at the same time. That's the only way to enter the valley. As a grade 4 formation master, Longao naturally knew that there was a formation outside the valley. There were no ranks of arrays. There were a total of 9 stone platforms, and there was an array on each of them. Attacking a stone platform's array formation alone was completely useless. This was the only way. That was to attack all 9 stone platforms simultaneously. Furthermore, it would require a high god to attack. If that was the case, there would be no suspense at all. Everyone calm down. Calm down. When they heard that they had to attack all 9 stone platforms at the same time to enter the valley, everyone began to chatter. We've tested it just now. Each stone platform can only hold up to 4 people at most. 4 by 9, 36 people. 36? Tens of thousands of people, but only 36 people enter the valley? What kind of concept was that? Such a ratio could only mean one thing. If they wanted to attack the array formation on the stone platform and enter the valley, they would have to kill their way out. No matter who it was, they all wanted to enter the valley. There were only 36 people who could enter the valley. Thinking of this, everyone's eyes turned red as they stared at the 9 stone platforms.
Kill.
Waves of murderous intent soared into the sky. Instantly, everyone charged toward the 9 stone platforms. However, in a situation like this, it was not a matter of speed that could guarantee that one could reach the stone platforms.
Strength.
If one wanted to enter the valley, one had to rely on strength. Without strength, one could forget about it. Longao did not move because it would be nonsense to go there now. No matter what, even if he had to go on a killing spree, he had to occupy a stone platform. Lu Rulin and the other 2 arrived at the same time. However, only the 3 of them were left from the Lu family. Perhaps there were others, but they were definitely not here. After all, the lower level of Heavenly Road was boundless. The 3 of them saw Longao at the same time. Murderous intent radiated from their eyes. However, due to his terrifying strength, they did not dare attack recklessly. Cousin, let's fight for a stone platform too. When we enter the valley, we might be able to obtain an opportunity. However, Lu Rulin shook her head and said, My 2 cousins, I'm sure you've seen the situation clearly. Ordinary peak high gods can't occupy stone platforms at all, unless they're half-step lords. Among the tens of thousands of people, there were a total of 3 half-step lords who had comprehended 2-dimensional space. Without a doubt, the 3 of them would occupy 3 stone platforms. The remaining 6 stone platforms would be occupied by the half-step lords who had comprehended 2-dimensional space. The gap between peak high gods and half-step lords was extremely huge. It was like an insurmountable gap. Unless it was someone like Longao, ordinary martial artists would not be able to kill a half-step lord at all. As expected, the 3 half-step lords who had comprehended 2-dimensional space each occupied a stone platform and invited the 3 of them. The others did not dare to fight for a stone platform at all. What a joke. Even if they wanted to enter the valley, they had to be alive to do so. The remaining 6 stone platforms began the most brutal fight. Within a short few dozen minutes, the number of casualties had already reached 1/10. What did that mean? Just as Lu Rulin had predicted, the final 6 stone platforms were firmly occupied by the 6 lords. All 9 stone platforms had fallen into the hands of the half-step lords. Several half-step lords had even died in the fight this time. One could imagine how brutal the fight was. Seeing that there was no hope of fighting for a stone platform, many people began to retreat slowly. After all, the valley was not the only valley on Heavenly Path. There were opportunities in other places as well. There was no need to stay in one place and refuse to give up. In a short while, almost everyone had left. There were less than a few hundred people left. Lu Rulin and the other 2 did not leave. They merely watched the silhouette in the distance quietly. The 3 of them were very curious. They did not know why Longao had not left. Could it be that he wanted to occupy a stone platform? He's overestimating himself. No matter how powerful his ability is, there's no way he can defeat a half-step lord. Cousin, I can sense an invincible aura from him. He might really challenge a half-step lord and fight for a stone platform. Of course, Lu Chong and Lu Bo did not believe that Longao would really dare to fight, given his ability, unless he was out of his mind or had a death wish. Since everyone has already occupied a stone platform, why don't we attack the formation in front of us now and enter the valley at the same time? All right. I'm fine with it. Just as everyone was prepared to attack the formation, Longao suddenly spoke. You guys are fine with it, but I am... At that moment, Longao took a step forward and looked at the people in front of him with a smile. Just because he had not attacked earlier did not mean that he would not attack. Chapter 2952. He's really going to attack. He really doesn't know his place. Lu Chong and Lu Bo were completely dumbfounded. They had never imagined that Longao would really dare to fight for the stone platforms. Was it possible for a mere high-level higher god to challenge a half-step lord? It was almost impossible. Lu Rulan's eyes, however, revealed a strange look. "Ha, do you have a problem? What problem do you have?" The 36 people on the stone dais, upon seeing a puny high god, actually dared to stand out and challenge him. They were courting death. However, Longao chose to ignore them. He took another step forward, and a powerful aura surged out. He only needed one of the 9 stone platforms. There was no need for him to cause trouble for 3 half-step lords who had comprehended two-dimensional space. Therefore, he could only choose from the remaining 6 stone platforms. He's choosing. Seeing that their opponent was searching for an answer, the people on the 9 stone platforms were enraged. On one of the stone platforms, "Kid, you're really arrogant." Before this person could finish speaking, Longao interrupted him and said with a smile, "Since you want to stand out, I'll choose you." Before anyone could react, Longao's figure had already moved swiftly. He wanted to end the battle quickly. This time, Longao did not use the Xianyuan sword. Instead, he took out the Chaos Axe. Together with the Chaos 9 axes, he was prepared to finish off his opponents in the shortest time possible. On the stone platforms, 1 half-step lord and 3 peak, high-level higher gods. With such an ability, even a half-step lord might not be able to gain an advantage, let alone a high-level higher god. Longao was very fast. He arrived on the stone platforms in an instant. In the blink of an eye, both parties were engaged in a fierce battle. A crack, crack, crack. Before the 3 peak high-level higher gods could react, they were imprisoned by the primordial spirits of Longao's axe shadow. Their expressions changed. Even if they were beaten to death, they would never have imagined that their opponent could imprison their primordial spirits. It was simply unbelievable. Wherever the axe shadow passed, the 3 peak high-level higher gods were killed instantly. What did that mean? It was an instant kill. And high-level higher god had killed 3 peak high-level higher gods in an instant. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would have found it hard to believe. Lu Rulan and the other 2 were not surprised at all. After all, Longao had almost killed her 2 cousins in an instant as well. Everyone was stunned. What powerful abilities! The expression of the half-step lords on the stone platform was extremely grim. This was because even he wasn't capable of insta-killing them, let alone insta-killing 3 peak high gods. "Sir, everything can be discussed. Right now, I'm the only one on the stone platform. How about you join me?" If it had been any other time, this half-step lord would definitely not have chosen to back down. However, the current situation was completely different. If the other party truly possessed powerful abilities and caused trouble for him, he could imagine the consequences. Bear with it for a while and calm the waves. Since the half-step lords had already done so, as long as they were not out of their minds, they would definitely give up. In any case, all they had to do was occupy one of the slots. But in the end, just when everyone thought that Longao would stop, the situation changed. Not only did Longao not stop, but he began to attack the half-step lord in a frenzy. To other peak higher gods, a half-step lord might be an insurmountable existence. However, to Longao, it was nothing at all. It was not as if he had never killed a half-step lord before. Longao did not want to cause any trouble for himself. If he and Longao occupied the stone platforms at the same time and were stabbed in the back, he would not even have the chance to cry. "Brat, you've gone too far. If I don't kill you today, I swear I'm not human." He had already put down his pride and invited Lin Huang to enter the valley with him. Never had he thought that not only would Lin Huang ignore him, but he would even try to kill him. This was intolerable. It was not just this lord. Even the others were in disbelief. A mere high-level higher god was so arrogant that he wanted to kill a lord. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would have found it hard to believe. It was rare to see such an exciting battle. Not only that, if the battle did not end, they would not be able to forcefully break the formation and enter the valley. Primordial spirit imprisonment. In the past, Longao certainly would not have dared to use primordial spirit imprisonment so casually to imprison a half-step lord's primordial spirit. However, the situation was different now. Now that his cultivation had broken through to high-level, higher god, he was fully confident that even if his opponent was a half-step lord, he could imprison his opponent's primordial spirit. As expected, with the help of the Chaos Axe's primordial spirit imprisonment, his power increased by a full 1/3. What did that mean? The half-step lord was equally stunned. He had never imagined that Lin Huang would be able to imprison his primordial spirit. If he had not experienced it himself, he would have found it hard to believe. However, what was done was done. It was too late for regrets. Longao swung the Chaos Axe in his hand viciously. With a loud bang, the half-step lord's body was instantly split into two. Even his primordial spirit did not have time to escape before it was devoured by Longao. Since he had already devoured so many martial artists' powers, he did not suggest continuing to devour them. No matter what, he had to elevate his cultivation level first. Currently, his cultivation level had broken through to high-level higher god. If he wanted to become a half-step lord, the first thing he had to do was break through to peak higher god as soon as possible. He used the heart-burning lotus to turn the corpse on the stone platform into ashes. Exceptional fire? He actually has an exceptional fire? Everyone's expressions changed when they saw an exceptional fire suddenly appear in Lin Huang's hand. They knew very well what an exceptional fire meant. There were a total of 23 types of exceptional fires in the Chaos Realm. No matter which exceptional fire one obtained, one would become an unparalleled powerhouse in the future. Greed filled their eyes. They could not wait to snatch the exceptional fire from Lin Huang. However, Lin Huang's ability was far too powerful. He was able to kill a half-step lord. Unless they were half-step lords who had comprehended 20% of space, no one else dared to snatch the exceptional fire from Lin Huang. They had the intention, but they did not have the guts. As for the 3 half-step lords who had comprehended 20% of space, they had no intention of doing anything at all. Longao looked at the hundreds of people before him coldly. No matter who they were, as long as they dared to snatch the exceptional fire or the position on the stone platform, he would not hesitate to break through immediately. Lu Chong and Lu Bo were completely dumbfounded. Initially, they had thought that Longao would not be able to defeat a half-step lord. They had never imagined that Longao would actually do it. It was unbelievable. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would not have believed it at all. Chapter 2953. Longao's strength had completely stunned everyone around him. Although he was only a high-level higher god, his strength was comparable to a half-step lord's, or even stronger. Lu Rulin, are the 3 of you willing to attack the formation with me and enter the valleys? After looking around, Longao eventually locked onto Lu Rulin and the other 2. He did not know the others, so Longao was unwilling to take the risk.
Huh?
Looking at the figure on the stone platform, Lu Rulin aside, even the other 2 were a little dumbfounded. It was as though a pie had fallen from the sky and hit them directly. We're willing. Suppressing the joy in their hearts, the 3 of them did not dare to hesitate at all. Immediately, they went up to the stone platform. Thank you for your help, Brother Long. Longao only nodded his head but did not say anything. Cough, cough, cough. Your strength is through the heavens. Since that's the case, let's begin. The people on the other 8 stone platforms were filled with lingering fear. If this person had chosen to attack them first, it would be hard to say what would have happened. There was no hesitation at all. On the 9 stone platforms, the 4 of them began attacking the formations before them wildly. Boom, 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 boom. The 36 of them gave it their all. Within a few minutes, the 9 formations were forcefully broken. Then, before the 36 of them could even react, a white light flashed and enveloped all of them. Instantly, they disappeared from where they were. In the next second, the 36 of them had already appeared in the valley. Their surroundings were eerie and filled with danger. Everyone, the opportunities in the valley are up to your own abilities. Let's go. The 36 of them were either moving alone or in groups. Before long, the others had disappeared without a trace, leaving only Longao and the other two. Brother Long, why don't we move together? Longao waved his hand. Before Lu Rulin could finish her sentence, Longao had already said, I like to move alone.
Goodbye.
If not for the fact that there had to be 4 people, Longao would not have brought the 3 of them in. Looking at the departing figure, Lu Chong scolded viciously. What the hell? Letting you come with us is his honor. How dare he? Cousin. Okay, cousin. I won't say any more. After leaving, Longao was pleasantly surprised. Ever since he entered the valley, the mysterious power that was summoning him seemed to be getting stronger and stronger, as if it was right next to his ear. Longao's speed soared to the extreme. 10 minutes later, it was an extremely hidden black hole that was covered by a concealment array. If one wasn't an array master or had good luck, it would be impossible to find the black hole. With Longao's strength as a level for array master, he managed to break through the concealment array in just a few minutes. Inside the black hole was a bottomless tunnel. Without the slightest hesitation, Longao's figure instantly entered the black hole tunnel and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The passageway was very long and sloped downwards. It was obvious that it was at the bottom of the valley. About an hour later, Longao finally saw a glimmer of light. He was overjoyed and immediately sped up. In a short while, he had already entered a huge cave. The surroundings were gray, chaotic energy. Just as he stepped into the cave, Longao clearly sensed that the grayish airflow within the cave was the so-called primal chaos energy. Such dense primal chaos energy was really rarely seen, and he had practically never seen it before. After stepping into the cave, Longao was immediately locked by the surrounding chaotic energy. He couldn't even move an inch. He was shocked. Longao didn't know what was going on. At this moment, all the chaotic energy around the cave rushed into Longao's body. It was madly rushing into his body. In Longao's body, the chaotic palace in his dantian was crazily attacked by the chaotic energy. It was continuous and airtight. What's going on? At this moment, Longao was shocked to find that because of the chaotic energy in the cave, his dantian and the chaotic palace in his body were slowly fusing. That's right, they were fusing. Although he was shocked, Longao couldn't do anything. He couldn't even control his body, let alone stop it. Whether it was good or bad, he didn't know. His instincts told Longao that this might not be a bad thing. There was no need to talk about the strength of the chaotic palace. As the owner of the chaotic palace, he knew how heaven-defying the chaotic palace was. If they could fuse together, it would be beneficial for him. Since he was already here, he might as well take things as they came. Longao just watched quietly and didn't continue to resist. Just like this, all the chaotic energy in the cave continued to rush into Longao's body. It only stopped when his dantian and the chaotic palace were completely fused. Perhaps it was a coincidence, but after the two fused, the chaotic energy in the cave disappeared without a trace. It was all devoured by Longao. He was so excited that he didn't know what to do. Just as he had guessed, after his dantian and the chaotic palace were completely fused, his body was immortal. In other words, as long as the chaotic palace wasn't destroyed, his body would be immortal. Previously, when his lotus primordial spirit condensed into the immortal primordial spirit, it could only ensure that his primordial spirit was immortal. His body couldn't achieve that, so it wasn't truly eternal. But now, the situation was completely different. With the fusion of his dantian and the chaotic palace, his body had also become immortal. Both his primordial spirit and body were immortal. At this moment, Longao was truly eternal. In other words, not to mention ordinary warriors, even peak divine emperors couldn't kill him. At most, they could only be severely injured. How could he not be surprised, excited, and excited? Now, Longao finally knew what kind of power was summoning him. It turned out that it was the primal chaos power. It was really arranged by fate. If he hadn't forcefully entered the valley, his Danteon and primal chaos palace wouldn't have been able to fuse together. Inside the chaotic palace. In other words, inside the so-called Danteon. Now, the chaotic palace and the Danteon had fused together. Longao looked at Qin Shuangshuang, who was lying on the ice bed with a surprised expression. With the influx of the chaotic energy, not only had his Danteon and the chaotic palace fused together, even Qin Shuangshuang had absorbed part of the chaotic energy. He thought that Qin Shuangshuang would wake up, but he never thought that Qin Shuangshuang would still be the same.
Huh.
At this moment, Longao was shocked to find that Qin Shuangshuang, who was lying on the ice bed, had unknowingly broken through to the over-god realm. What kind of concept was this? Could it be because of the chaotic energy? That was unlikely. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he would have found it hard to believe. But Longao was really surprised. Qin Shuangshuang's cultivation had broken through to the over-god realm, which meant that her injuries hadn't worsened. She just hadn't woken up yet. I will definitely wake you up. Chapter 2954. Regarding Qin Shuangshuang, Longao's feelings had always been vague. He didn't know why, but he always had a feeling that Qin Shuangshuang was his wife. Unfortunately, until now, he still didn't know whether he was reincarnated or not. Everything was still a mystery. After devouring the chaotic force, Longao didn't stay any longer. He turned and left the cave. In the valley, "Cousin, let's leave quickly. Cousin, let's go together. Let's die together." At this moment, Lu Ruolin and the other two were besieged. They were already injured and could be killed at any time. They didn't know if they were lucky or unlucky. As soon as they stepped into the valley, they found their own opportunity. There were several treasures and a level 6 divine beast core. What did a level 6 beast core mean? A level 6 divine beast was equivalent to a divine emperor. It was easy to imagine what a level 6 divine beast core meant. If it was something else, it would be fine. But this beast core couldn't be handed over. "I'll give you one more chance. Otherwise, we'll kill you." The 20 people had been holding back and didn't immediately kill them. They just wanted to get the beast core and divine weapon. They didn't want to kill the 3 unless they had no other choice. The 3 were from the Lu family of the Thunder Heavenly Domain. The Lu family was powerful. There was no wall that didn't have a crack. If they were unlucky and the news spread, they would be in big trouble. The 3 didn't care at all. They still insisted. They wouldn't hand over the divine weapon and beast core even if they died. Since that's the case, don't blame us for being impolite. Things had already come to this, and the 3 still refused to hand over the things. There was no other way except to kill them. "Let's go. Wanna go?" Everyone wanted to laugh. Things had already come to this, and the 3 still refused to let go. What was the use of these treasures and beast cores if they lost their lives?
No.
Seeing their cousin killed, the 2 of them went completely mad. Just as the 2 of them were about to hand over the beast core and the god artifact, a figure appeared in front of them. There was a loud bang. The 20 people were beaten back. Longao was already standing in front of Lu Ruolin. He asked, "Are you okay?" He had nearly been killed. Even now, fear still lingered in his heart. "Thank you for this. But you have to leave quickly. Take this beast core and leave." Lu Ruolin handed over the grade 6 beast pill in her hands without hesitation. She knew very well that even Longao wouldn't be able to resist the combined forces of over 20 martialists. If it were anyone else, they would definitely be greedy upon seeing a level 6 beast pill. Not to mention giving it away for free, they would not hesitate to snatch it. Except for Longao. Waving his hand, Longao smiled and said, "I didn't save you for the beast core." Longao took action because he felt that Lu Ruolin was a good person. If it were someone else, such as Lu Bo or Lu Chong, he would definitely not take action. Longao naturally knew about the beast core in Lu Ruolin's hands. A level 6 beast pill was equivalent to a level 6 divine beast pill of a level 6 divine beast. Such a heaven-defying beast pill would definitely be snatched by countless people if it was put outside. Your Excellency, there's no need for you to get involved in this flood. If you want this beast core, we can split it equally. How about it? Scram. The word scram not only stunned the 20-odd martial artists in front of him, but even Lu Ruolin and the other two were dumbfounded. They had seen arrogant people before, but they had never seen such an arrogant person. Faced with so many peak higher gods, 3 half-step lords who had comprehended two-dimensional space, and several half-step lords who had comprehended one-dimensional space, he actually dared to tell them to scram. He had a death wish. Everyone was instantly enraged. You're really arrogant. Today, I'll show you what right you have to be so arrogant. Even if Lin Huang could kill half-step lords, there were 3 half-step lords who had comprehended two-dimensional space here, as well as 20-odd peak higher gods. How could Lin Huang fight them? Without waiting for this peak superior deity to finish speaking, Longao's figure instantly disappeared.
Hold on.
How arrogant.
Crack.
Longao directly cut this person in half at the waist. By the time everyone reacted, this person had already died. Even his primordial spirit had been devoured by Longao. From the beginning to the end, forget the ordinary peak higher gods. Even the half-step lords who had comprehended two-dimensional space had not been able to clearly see how exactly Longao had done it. Lin Huang's powerful ability completely shocked everyone, including Lu Ruolin and the other two. Scram. Your Excellency, you're very powerful. However, I believe you know better than any of us what a grade 6 beast core means. You can't swallow this beast core by yourself. Why don't we split it equally? After witnessing Lin Huang's powerful ability with their own eyes, none of them were willing to take action. After all, they would not suffer a great loss even if they gave away a portion. However, what happened in the end? Longao chose to ignore them completely. He said coldly, "Since all of you don't want to leave, all of you can stay." There was an uproar. Longao's meaning was very clear. Was he going to take action? Lu Ruolin in particular was very grateful. If it had been anyone else, they definitely would not have dared to do so. Just as everyone had guessed, Longao took action right away. He fought over 20 martial artists alone. Under his frenzied attacks, they fell one after another. Within a short few minutes, apart from a few half-step lords, Longao had killed all of them. Your Excellency, please stop. Let's go. You want to leave? Since things had turned out this way, there was no way Longao would let this go. He would eliminate the source of trouble and prevent any future trouble. Even if he were facing half-step lords, he would still kill them without hesitation. The few remaining martial artists were thoroughly enraged. They had never expected that Lin Huang would not let them go even after they had chosen to give way. This was an absolute humiliation. Primordial spirit shackles. Crack, crack, crack. With primordial spirit shackles and a successful breakthrough to high-level higher god, Longao was practically the most powerful person below lords. Even half-step lords who had comprehended two-dimensional space were no match for Longao. Dozens of minutes later, Lu Ruolin and the other two were completely dumbfounded when they saw the ground littered with corpses. They had witnessed Longao's power with their own eyes. He could even kill half-step lords. However, they had never imagined that Longao could even kill half-step lords who had comprehended two-dimensional space. His ability was enough to make him the true most powerful person below lords. With such powerful ability, he was practically invincible in the lower levels of Heavenly Road. Looking at the grade 6 beast pill in her hand, Lu Ruolin took it out anyway. She said, "Brother Long, although I know that you're not helping us because you're after our grade 6 beast pill, if it weren't for you this time, forget about keeping this grade 6 beast pill. We don't even know if we could have survived." Chapter 2955. There was no need to elaborate on the value of a level 6 beast pill. It would be a lie to say that he did not want it. You're a good person. You can be considered half a friend.
I've already said that.
Before Longao could finish speaking, Lu Rulin had already said, Brother Long, if you don't mind, we're friends. Since we're friends, this beast pill is yours. If you decline, it means that you don't want to treat me as a friend. Lu Rulin's attitude was very firm as she handed the beast pill to Longao. On the other hand, the other two, whether it was Lu Bo or Lu Chong, they looked reluctant. They dared not voice their anger. They had already witnessed how powerful Longao was. Even if they were extremely unwilling, they could only swallow it down. Cousin, these are the divine weapons. Their intentions were clear. Apart from the beast pill, they had also obtained many divine weapons this time. Now that they had handed over the beast pill, would they have to hand over the divine weapons as well? If that was the case, it would be too much of a pain in the ass. Before Lu Rulin could speak, Longao had already said, You can keep these divine weapons. I'm not interested in them at all. They finally heaved a sigh of relief. Lu Rulin. Brother Long, if you don't mind, you can call me Rulin. Nodding, Longao said, Rulin, it's almost unnecessary for a peak high god to go to the lower level of Heavenly Road unless you're extremely lucky. The lower level of Heavenly Road was fraught with danger. One wrong step, and one would be doomed eternally. How could Lu Rulin not know about this? After a deep sigh, Lu Rulin said helplessly, Brother Long, there are some things that even I can't control. This was the tragedy of being a large family. You had to do whatever the family told you to do. There was no way you could disobey. If I'm not mistaken, there's a training ground at the lower level of Heavenly Road that allows peak high gods to comprehend space power.
Huh?
What did that mean? Lu Rulin was no fool. Of course, she knew what Longao meant. To break through to Lord level from peak high god, even as a half-step Lord, one had to comprehend space power first. It was easy to think about it, but it was fraught with difficulties. Brother Long, do you know where it is? Yes. Can you take me there? Ever since he had broken through to become a peak high-level deity, he had been stuck at this level for several decades, unable to advance any further. His main objective for entering the heavenly path this time was to break through to half-step Lord. Comprehending space was the key to breaking through. Yes, but not the two of them.
Why?
Do you discriminate against us? Hearing that the other party was actually not allowing the two of them to go together, the two of them, who were originally extremely excited, were simply furious to the extreme. Both of their cultivations had already broken through to peak high god level. They were only a step away from officially breaking through to half-step lords. Unless it was to comprehend the power of space, no other method would work. If the two of them could go and comprehend spatial strength together, they might be able to break through from peak high-level gods to half-step lords. A half-step lord was the bridge between a peak higher god and a lord.
But now?
The other party actually didn't want the two of them to participate. How could they choose to give up such a good opportunity? Discrimination? Haha, weren't the two of you very arrogant before? If I remember correctly, you should be from the Lu family of the Thunder Heavenly region. Since that's the case, with such an awesome family, it shouldn't be difficult for you to comprehend spatial strength. Lu Rulin seemed to want to say something, but she did not know what to say. Longao, we admit that we were wrong before. Please be magnanimous and forgive us. At the thought of being able to comprehend spatial strength and become half-step lords, the two of them finally chose to put down their pride. In their opinion, the other party would definitely agree to their request on account of their cousin. In the end, with a cold smirk, Longao said coldly, I'm sorry, but forgive me for not being able to help you. After he finished speaking, Longao left quickly with Lu Rulin. In the blink of an eye, they had disappeared without a trace. Both of their expressions were very gloomy. Lu Bo said with a murderous aura, One day, I'll let you know that the Lu family is not to be trifled with. Even if the two of them were given 10,000 guts, they definitely would not have dared to provoke the other party. A person who could even kill half-step lords, one could imagine what that meant. Brother Long, is the place you mentioned just now also in the valley? That's right. The place Longao was referring to is none other than the place where he had previously devoured Chaos Force. After using the Chaos Force in the cave to integrate his Dantian and Chaos Palace, Longao had already discovered that there was terrifying spatial strength in the cave. It could allow a higher god to sense spatial strength and elevate to half-step lords. However, what oppressed Longao was that he alone could not comprehend the spatial strength in the cave at all. The reason was simple. There were 2 spatial formation cores in the cave. Someone had to sit in the formation cores at the same time and comprehend them at the same time. Only then could one successfully comprehend spatial strength and elevate to half-step lord. Left with no other choice, he could only leave the cave and look for the other person. In that case, he might be able to comprehend spatial strength in the cave and elevate to peak higher god, or even become a half-step lord. Longao didn't hide anything. He roughly told her about the cave. Lu Rulin didn't care at all. In her opinion, this kind of mutually beneficial thing, not to mention herself, she believed that no matter who it was, no one would refuse. For all martial artists below half-step lord, the temptation of comprehending spatial strength was just too great. Even the powerful Lu family was powerless when it came to comprehending spatial strength. One could only rely on oneself when it came to such matters. Lu Rulin said with a smile, "Brother Long, thank you so much this time. If there's anything you need in the future, I'll definitely help you." There's no need for that. The 2 of them entered the cave very quickly. Without any hesitation, they each took a spatial formation core and began to comprehend it. Just as Longao had guessed, the 2 of them sat in the formation cores at the same time and were able to comprehend spatial strength smoothly. As soon as they sat down in the formation cores, Lu Rulin was overjoyed. As expected, it seemed that she finally had hope of breaking through to half-step lord after being stuck at her level for so many years. She did not dare to be distracted at all. She immediately put her heart and soul into comprehending, hoping to comprehend spatial strength as soon as possible so that she could elevate to half-step lord. However, at that moment, a figure suddenly appeared and stared coldly at the 2 of them sitting in the formation cores. His face was filled with rage. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.